I can't help it that I look good, smell good, woo, can dance all night long. But the crew runs to the top, oh yeah. You've been talking to the apes and the giraffes and chimpanzees again, haven't you? Yes, I'm excited!
Can't keep these gators down. Well, here we are. Time to ride Space Mountain one more time. Is Ric Flair not one of the best? You gotta love Flair, man. Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Fast Freddie Rocks Youngstown. Woo! Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful state-of-the-art Youngstown Studios in beautiful downtown Youngstown. And, well, we got a little bit of nonsense here going on, and we're not going to keep you too long tonight. Just long enough that we get the show going to get like a couple of 2-minute clips that we could share later on in the week.
Yes.
So sometimes
to remind you we alive.
So sometimes that takes us 2 hours to get those 2-minute clips here. And that's what we got going on. So is this our first show of the new year? Did we do one?
I think we did one the couple days after the new year.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cheers. What do we got here? Good to drink.
This is your own beer. I'm gifting you your own beer.
Oh,
back.
okay. Oh, that's why you didn't put the bottle. So I recognize it.
But I owned up to it immediately.
Right. You didn't have to. You didn't have to do that. That's that summer ale. Or not summer ale, winter ale. Some kind of winter ale from Samuel Adams.
Yeah, nailed it.
I got to admit, that's pretty good stuff, man.
I like it.
I'm going to make
it's
a little.
So much better out of a glass.
I'm going to make a little drink too, man. Bought some salted caramel Crown Royal. Okay, yeah. And Joe just goes, fill her up.
Go.
Why don't you just drink it out of the bottle? Why don't I just crack it and we'll just.
I've never had salted.
Oh, so you might want a little taste before we mix it.
Well, yeah, give me a splash just so I can see what's salted.
And we have some coffee liqueur, and we've got some light cream.
And what is this concoction that you're going to formulate?
Well, actually, I think it's called a White White but being a Ukrainian, there's a white Ukrainian. Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to go. Yeah, just take a little sip of that and see what you think of the salted caramel alone. Got a shot glass here anywhere?
I may. Oh, yeah, that's good.
Isn't it though? It is. It is. A lot of people aren't a fan of the flavored anything, but I'll go along with that one. So, anyways, you know what? Let me look up this concoction anyways on the Crown Royal page. You might not know that I do follow Crown Royal on Facebook.
Do you really?
Yeah.
We'll do espresso cups because I don't got any shot glasses, but that's good
okay.
enough.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Crown Royal. And then you go to their page and then okay, let's see. There's a Crown Royal support group. I'm not quite sure what that one's all about. Let's see. Hey, speaking of Crown Royal, remember a while back we were trying to think about who would we have as a spokesman for Crown Royal, and we kicked around some people. Oh, we were going to do for the chocolate crown. Remember, we were talking about like some soul singers and should they be young, old, light skin, dark skin, that kind of thing. We never did come to a conclusion. Well, the conclusion was Crown sells itself.
That's right.
Crown doesn't need anybody. Well, have you seen the Crown Royal commercials?
No, I've not.
This one was so perfect. It's amazing that I didn't even think of it. Their new thing is, they just show the Crown bottle. They don't have a person in it. And the music is Midnight Rider from the Allman Brothers. And it just hits so good. Have you noticed the commercials with the classic rock in it? It's like every single commercial now has a classic rock song in it. Absolutely. Every single commercial. It's like, wow, that's crazy. And a couple of them, you're sitting there and you're looking back going, wow. Dave Price is on the ball. Dave Price said salted crown and apple cider. That is true. I was going to get that. I couldn't find any apple cider. And it's like a caramel apple, and then you get a cinnamon stick to go along with it.
So good.
But I think there's only, isn't it though? You know what? I got to take just a little nip here, just
to remind yourself together. How good it is.
Yeah, just to remember. I see my sister Lynn is tuning in today from New York City, and she's a Crown fan too.
While you're doing that, I'm going to ask Grok who they think the Crown Royal spokesperson should be. This should be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good. You know, if you don't know it, Grok is this new high-tech search engine, and the stuff it does is just amazing. We fool around with it here on the show all the time. You know what? We got so many comments. That's right. We were here a couple weeks ago with the bikini pictures.
Yes.
More people were going berserk and bananas about the bikini pictures.
I knew that would go over
that
well.
that was huge. Boy, a lot of people holding up a bottle of Crown. I'll salute them too.
All right.
So anyway,
that's who they picked. They're pretty. They're dressed nicely.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a Crown Royal. You know, it looks like it's young minorities, well groomed.
Yes,
that's you know. How about Chocolate Crown? Let's see who they go for Chocolate Crown.
Let's see how racist Grok is.
Oh, they just have candy of chocolate crowns.
They messed that up.
Oh, okay. Or what celebrity? Say, what celebrity would you? What celebrity would be good to endorse Crown Royal? You know, you would think Rush because they're from Canada. Neil Young, maybe something smoky from Neil Young. No, he's too grungy. Not there's anything wrong with it. I mean, what celebrity would you have endorse Crown Royal? It's the same young minorities. They seem to think, you know, that's who is drinking Crown Royal. Okay.
What the heck's going on here?
I don't know.
Grok is messing up.
Yeah,
right,
Grok is messing up. Yeah, moving on. Let me just look up this recipe here real quick. But yeah, Dave Price is on the ball. That would really be good too. I did want to make that with the apple cider and especially on a freezing day like today, you know, a little hot toddy, you know, I think that would have been pretty good.
Heck yeah.
Hey, everybody, Bill is checking in. Bill Ellison, what's up, man? How you doing? No, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, I can't find the official recipe. Let me look.
You can make it up. That's what a good barista does.
Yeah, we're experimenting here. Caramel Crown recipes. Recipes is one of those words I could never spell. I was the worst speller in the world. Salted caramel crown post. I don't know. Last time I just went right to the crown page and it just said, put in what crown you want, and we'll show you the drinks. Well, here's one they're doing like salt and Crown Royal and Frappuccino. Oh, that's almost on this. This is taking it up a notch. That's taking it up a notch. You know what? Screw it. Let's just make this. Crown Royal and coffee liqueur. We're wasting too much time on this. This is like kind of.
How about the salted caramel white Russian?
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Okay. All right. A shot of Crown, a shot of coffee liqueur, and I didn't get the heavy cream. I got the regular cream. We'll have to improvise.
It'll do.
All right. So here we go. Where's your? Well, here we got to. Oh, we're gonna mix it in a little glass.
I don't know. What do you want? I got a big glass over here.
Does that look like about a shot to you?
Yeah.
All right. I'll make mine about even. You know what? We might be able to just make a little one right in this cup, in these little cups.
Okay. Do it up.
All right. We got to stir. You got a straw somewhere.
Yeah, I'll get you a stir.
All right. So what we're doing here, it's called the White Russians, and some are Ukrainian. We are calling it a White Ukrainian. We don't want anything to do with anything Russian. So it is salted caramel Crown Royal mixed with a little bit of coffee liqueur. This is Kamara coffee liqueur. You know, this stuff comes in handy too when you're going to work and you got your Dunkin' iced coffee. Oh, this is pretty syrupy. Okay, this is going to be kind of a sweet drink here. And I don't know. You know what? Maybe we do need a bigger glass because I'm not sure how much cream you can put in there. There you go. All right. Let's see how this pans out. All right. See what you think. I think this is going to be pretty cool. Mix it up there a little bit. And I'll mix mine. See what you need. Do you need a little more cream? Too much cream? Not enough Crown? You let me know. All right. And here we go.
I'll wait on you. We got to take first sips together.
Oh. All right. Well, here we go. Cheers. Oh, that's good.
That's very good.
This is one of these that'll get you in trouble. That's one of those that just goes down so smooth.
Yes. And the Crown has no bite to it whatsoever. So it goes down so smooth.
Yes.
It'll get you in trouble.
Yeah, maybe it could have used a little more, just a little bit more Crown.
Oh, it's good though.
That's a good tasting drink.
Heck yeah.
For something, if you don't want to sit there and have to fight something or, there you go. I think Bill says that AC/DC should be the spokesman for Crown Royal. I'll tell you what, though, I thought that Allman Brothers song on there just hit it just right, for Crown Royal. So anyways, let's get down to it. What's been going on here? What's new and exciting in Youngstown Studio world? First off,
we are killing it. I'm telling you, after that 1 week where we did the bikini pictures with Grok, I had so many people that wanted to do their own podcast. They thought it was the funnest show that I've ever done. And it drew so much interest in what we do here. And I said, we don't do that every day. That was a one-off.
Right. Well, that's what I'm thinking too. I think we kind of spoiled it a little bit because you do something that good. And then there's like, okay, well, what are you going to do next? Come on, you got to do it again.
Right. We got to outdo ourselves.
I'm going to just put a little.
Yeah, you want that?
A little
much left, but I'll take some of that extra.
A little, just to make sure. You know why? Because I'm not really feeling it. I just, yeah, that's good. Yeah, there we are. But anyways, yeah, you do a show like that, and then you're like, oh man, what are we gonna do next? Probably better off just not to do anything and let everybody forget about it. But that was a riot.
Yes,
that was a real riot. Let's see. We got some stupid criminals in the news here we could talk about. This first one here was my favorite. There was a lot of good ones this week, but also we're going to take a look at the list of top 10 things we should stop caring about in 2026. Okay. That's just one of those things that, these people put these lists together, and I think they just, put it together to start a conversation. Let's see. This week in rock history, Wyatt Earp died 97 years ago. And he died in 1929. So he was still like kind of around, That's pretty interesting.
Do you watch? Are you watching the show Landman, by the way?
Oh, everybody! I got to get on that. Everybody and their brother is talking about that show. It seems like it's just getting hotter and hotter. Mm-hmm. I think it's really taken off. I never watched Yellowstone.
Okay.
And but every time I pick up my phone, I get a clip of Landman. I don't necessarily have to watch it to get the gist of it. I get my 2 minutes, my 3.5 minutes of a good scene. And so it's Billy Bob Thornton.
Yes.
And he's an oil man. Mm-hmm. And one of their biggest problems is that the cartels are involved in this oil stuff with land rights and stuff. And so he's the guy that got to put out all the fires and everything. And of course, there's shootouts and everything you would expect. It's kind of like now they took Yellowstone and moved it to Oklahoma. So or Texas or wherever they're at, and there's always something. And he's pretty much of a smart ass. He's
in character. Like his character, awesome.
Yeah, he is just so much in. And now they took the show to the next level because they brought in Sam Elliott to play his dad. And I got to tell you, not watching the show, but just watching the clips, I think the chemistry between him and Sam Elliott is awesome, and they just go back and forth at each other. They just bust each other's balls the whole time.
What's sad, though, is that Sam Elliott's the eternal badass.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wyatt Earp and Tombstone,
right.
whatever.
Yeah, sure. Right.
And to see him play an old dude who's crippled and like really
his best days are behind him.
Exactly. That's a different role for him.
But I'll tell you what, it's perfect. I mean, those two just hit it off so well, man. The conversations they have and stuff. And that's a pretty good show. It is a pretty good show. Everybody's talking about it right now. That's probably the hottest thing on TV. Absolutely. So about 5 years from now, I'll finally
get around to it. When they give a free trial to Paramount Plus.
Well, that's like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul too. I know all about it, but I've never watched a whole episode, but I know every single, I could have a conversation about that or follow along. That was another good show. Oh man. Walter White and he was the dad on Malcolm in the Middle. And then he plays this ruthless. Oh,
well, Sheridan did all of those. He did Yellowstone. He did Landman. He did Breaking Bad. So you're seeing a trend here. This guy knows how to put together a good show.
Oh yeah. Lots of drama and
heck yeah. And I agree with I agree with Jeff. Dave Price is the man. He is my go-to. Like when I need something, this dude comes through like nobody else. Yeah,
we'll get Dave Price on. Maybe we'll get him and Vike, and we'll have like the 570 Master Control reunion.
Yeah,
we could do that. But let's see, Barb Fox checking in. How you doing, Barb? Yeah, we're staying warm. I got my our new drink today, the White Ukrainian.
The White Ukrainian.
And it's salted caramel crown, Kimura coffee liqueur, and a little bit of cream.
What's in this sucker?
I think it's sugar. It's like syrup. This stuff you can pour on ice cream. You can make a milkshake out of this stuff, But I like that coffee alcohol kind of mixture there. That's some good stuff. Speaking of TV, I see like that TV show. Here's another one I've never seen, Stranger Things. Is that a good one?
It is.
Okay. Everybody must love that one.
My kid loves it. I probably hung in there for maybe 2 or 3 seasons.
Okay.
And it got a little redundant.
So what's it about? Like,
it's sci-fi. It's sort of like dystopian. You have the upside down, a world that these kids are able to visit. And there's, villains in the upside down. Heroes, and it's kind of cool because it's throwback to the 70s or the 80s.
Yeah, right. But that show has spawned 2 like big hit songs that have been around for years, and all of a sudden, I guess they showed it on the last episode. And one was Fleetwood Mac's "Landslide," which came out in 1975. Now that is the hottest song in America right now.
Is that crazy?
And they had another song on there too from David Bowie called "Heroes." And that went over to the credits. And like these 2 songs now are the biggest songs in the world after being on there. People are downloading them like crazy. And all these people that never heard them before, like, wow, what's that, man? I got to get that. And, it's crazy how that. Well, you know what show used to do that all the time with music was Miami Vice. Miami Vice was always on the cutting edge of the latest music. Remember Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, and Phil Collins, like the "In the Air Tonight." You knew when like "In the Air Tonight" come on Miami Vice. They were going out there, man. Yes. Crockett and Tubbs were in some Lamborghini, and they're heading off into the
evening,
night.
And the lights are going by. Yeah.
And then you knew it was going down, but.
Well, I have a 15-year-old and watched all the Stranger Things. He put a playlist of music together, and it goes along with Stranger Things. And it's basically my playlist from when I was 8 years old.
Really?
I mean, I hear him like, you have Prince on your playlist? Like, when did you ever hear Prince?
Right.
Stranger Things, like all these great bands.
Oh, that's great. Well, you need more of that. And like I say, too, with all the where's I going with that?
Gone.
I'm in the twilight zone. With all the classic rock in these commercials, it's this music is getting out to a lot of people that might have never heard it before. And me being in classic rock since the beginning of time and being a fan before I was in the radio business, to me these songs are just like, oh, okay. You don't realize that there are some people out here that had never heard Fleetwood Mac "Landslide." Or some of them people probably may have never heard of David Bowie, really. They watch that show for the first time, and then, and they're like, wow, what is that? What is this? What is that? And You know, you see that in classic rock a lot, though, too. When you go to these concerts, you see a lot of these younger people that go there because they got this music through their parents. And, you know, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, man, you know, you'll see like a whole family show up at a rock show. Where before it would be you and your buddies, right. You know, with weed and trying to smuggle in. Well, back then you didn't even have to try to smuggle, man. Back in the day when you could actually walk in with like a bottle of whiskey, you know, they didn't have all those pat downs and stuff.
They wanted to sell you a $15 beer, of course, now.
Yeah. Back then, that wasn't anything.
Right, let me ask you about something. So John Mellencamp was on Joe Rogan the other day. Great interview. If you haven't seen it.
Oh, I got to.
Yeah, it is amazing.
He's coming out this summer, yeah.
And so he was talking about what the radio industry did to rock music in the 90s going into the 2000s. Let me, and you've been in radio forever. So tell me if this is truthful, if you got a sense for this.
Okay.
So there was a transition between when rock started going out of favor and urban rap, reggae, blues, all that kind of stuff came in favor. He's basically said that radio stations got a stipend, an increased value to play rap, and rock got a half stipend for playing the same spin. So rock, in order to get a spin, would be paid half as much as rap or reggae.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
No. It's popular trend, really. That's what I think, you know. Because look at us, we're still playing the same songs.
Right.
I mean, people like them, but some people bitch, you know. But
listen to that interview, and I want you to tell me what you think of what he said.
I'd have to listen to it maybe in a little
bit more context.
But you know what? I think, you know, my big thing is what happened is, and I think we've talked about this on here before, is that Top 40 radio just went all in on rap and pop and ignored everything else. Yeah. You know, they don't have the marginal rock artist that you know, that were out there then. You know, there's nobody out there that's a John Cougar, Eddie Money, Bryan Adams. Anybody like that now is country. You know, that country sucked up that part. And you know what I think more than anything, I think grunge was also responsible for that shift, because that's what really happened. Grunge come out, and, you know, I like Alice in Chains and all those bands, you know, but the music is kind of a downer, you know. All these guys died from heroin or were involved with heroin, or there's a lot of depression in that music. When you turn on country, you hear them singing. Every song's about drinking beer. Who doesn't like to drink beer? You know, and you know, country is some good time music. I hate to say that, but I mean, you listen to Kenny Chesney, you listen to a lot of these guys drink another beer. You know, I mean, it to me, grunge got off into that darker thing, and then country, they popped it up a little bit. And they made these guys, you know, playing Stratocasters, and the guitar player's got a mohawk and he's pierced out and he's wearing a AC/DC t-shirt, and the light show looks like something from Pink Floyd, and all of a sudden that's country.
Right.
But, you know, that's what I think is really what happened there, because, and the record companies and everybody, they went in that direction of grunge, and people that just want to hear something light and easy and a good time. You know, where's a song like Summer of '69? You know, when was a recent song like that out? That's a country song now. Eddie Money, Shakin', Where's the Party? Those kind of songs. Those are all like now country songs, you know?
Yep.
And I think that's the big thing. On one end, we had, you know, Top 40 went to hip hop, rock went too far to grunge, and then all of a sudden country stepped in and just filled the void.
Yeah.
And, you know, and, you know, back in the day, there was a time when you would hear, if you were listening to a Top 40 station, you would hear whatever the top rock tracks were. You would hear whatever the top country tracks were. And some of those country songs out there, I listened to them, and a couple of them, to me, it sounded like the Backstreet Boys or something, auto-tuned and this and that.
Very poppy.
And it was like, am I listening to, you know, K105 or Hot 101 there, you know?
Johnny Cash versus something modern.
Yeah.
Way different.
But you know what? Now, see, back in the day, Johnny Cash got Top 40 airplay. Songs like A Boy Named Sue, you could get that on the Top 40. Charlie Rich, Behind Closed Doors. There were so many of them. Roger Miller, Trailers for Sale or Rent, the Statler Brothers, Flowers on the Wall. All those songs back in the day had top 40 airplay. And I think what happened was, the top 40 stations just turned their back completely on country, and there was no rock out there. Because I'll tell you, you listen to like Hot 101. I mean, some of them songs, you can see why people like them. I mean, I listen to them. It's not my cup of tea, and I'm not going to put them down, but I'll listen to them and I'll go, boy, that song is like really well produced, or that's a really slick song there. I could see why somebody would say, oh, that's my jam, and the same with country, and you just see that. But that's what I think. I don't, I just think it's because, top 40 focus mainly on, rap and hip hop and, urban type pop. And on the other hand, country just swooped in when rock became more grunge, and they were looking for that, they filled that audience of, songs like, even Journey, Any Way You Want It. And, where's the modern equivalent of that?
We need it. We need some young pups to come up and fill that void. Yeah.
You know what? I don't think we'll ever see that again.
No,
I don't think we'll ever see that again. Although, there is good music out there. I follow this one guy. What is it? I think it's Something Tracks, and he goes in New York City. And I don't know if it's set up or whatever, but he finds all these famous people, musicians and stuff, and he gives them $5 for every song that they correctly identify. And he must do a little research beforehand. So these people, and he'll play all kinds of stuff, things I've never heard. And if you really want to get an idea of some other music that's out there, this guy's the guy to follow. I mean, he had Nile Rodgers out there not too long ago, and Nile Rodgers, funk guy, and it'd been on just about everybody in the world's records and everything. I mean, he is like the music dude. And to hear him like break down these songs, because everybody starts, all the people that are listening to the songs, they have to have a little story to go along with it. So, they'll say, oh, that's this, but some of these people, the songs too, that they pick up like that and that are into, or they played on or whatever. It's amazing. I watch that and I go, wow, I don't really know anything about music. Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing. It's not embarrassing, but I mean, it's like
today's standard.
It is like, boy, these people are into it. Oh, well, he had Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins on there. And he had like the one top hip hop DJ in New York, and some of the songs he was playing them. And then some people that are alternative and everything. And I'll tell you, man, these people are sharp. There are people out there that are like, whoa, and they would break down every one of these songs and talk about the guy's style and whatever,
But if these commercials and these TV series bring back rock and roll, make it, appeal to the next generation, like you have a revival, like you really could.
Yeah, everything does go around. You just got to get the right person on there and the right thing to spearhead it. Let's see. Jay Bird says if you play country music backwards, you get your dog back, your old lady back, and so on and so forth. And you quit drinking. Exactly. My friend Linda says, my mom and dad, every Sunday, all day country music. Now, I know Linda's mom and dad. That was real country music back then. Let's see. A good geese says that I saw John Mellencamp with Heart at Blossom. John Mellencamp returns to Blossom Music Center on July 21st. And listen all week. We're giving away tickets on Y103. So Stephen Wilson Jr. is setting a new standard for country music songwriting. It's the next level. We'll have to check them out. Yeah, some of these country. You know what? Leanne, here's a story that and this is a guy I got to get on with, Leanne Binder, our friend, has been recording a lot in Nashville. Boy, that was good, wasn't it? We might have to have a little nip, that's dangerous stuff here.
Bad peer pressure going on right now.
That is some dangerous stuff. Well, you do
have a whole carton of light cream that you have to use up, right?
Right. We don't want that to go to waste. So anyways, where was I going?
Leanne Binder.
Oh, Leanne Binder. Okay. So Leanne Binder is down there in Nashville doing her thing. And my old college roommate who I haven't talked to in ages. He's got a podcast and he's in like the songwriting scene in Nashville. And then all of a sudden he meets up with Leanne Binder. But it was crazy because I was going to call him or send him a message and say, hey, listen, a friend of mine is down in Nashville and, you got to get her on your podcast. And just out of nowhere, they somehow ran into each other. And I think she was on his podcast. I think we got to get both of them on, for sure. And that would be pretty fun, But Nashville though, man, it's just crazy.
That's happening. That is really. I love the business that's going on there.
Yep. Hey, TJ checking in. What's up, TJ? You can check TJ out at Tracks on Thursday night. They have open stage jam night. It's a good time. I was up there a few months ago. I was there. I donated a bottle of Jack to a charity auction for TJ, as a matter of fact, and I won the bottle of Jack. I won my own bottle of Jack.
Fixed.
No, and you know what though? But then I just had another a benefit after that, and I just regifted.
Okay, all right.
We'll keep it going.
Okay.
Oh, JRs. What am I talking about? Tracks. JRs. Yeah, you're right, TJ. JRs. Yeah. So that was one of the things there that.
Yeah, Hoax is another one that I want to get
Hoax,
on
man. Yeah, now that Hoax doesn't have anything on him and everything, I want to, get him on.
Another show I'm watching is the Mayor of Kingstown.
You
watch any of that?
I just saw one like 2-minute clip yesterday. First time it popped up on my feed, and I said, "Oh, that looks pretty good. I'll put that on the list."
I want to ask Hoax how realistic that show is because it basically depicts the different groups and gangs within the prison walls and how they're managed and kept peaceful. I want to see how accurate that is.
Yeah, that would definitely. Oh, this one's got to be for you. You probably already have your reservation in. The startup is accepting reservations for a planned new hotel, which will be on the moon. Prices range from $250K to $1 million per guest, and that's just for the stay. It'll cost another $10 million plus to get you there.
Dude, it's less than 3 weeks and we're going back to the moon. Did you know Artemis is launching in less than 3 weeks?
Yeah, I saw that. Back to the moon.
I am stoked. Now, when they went in the late 60s, huge deal about it. Like, we were so proud of our nation for being able to accomplish that.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense that anybody effing cares about that.
No, not really. And you know what? And for the people that think it was fake, where do you think we have all this technology that we have from today, from going to the moon? All these, even when we broke out the first digital wristwatch, where do you think all that stuff come from? That's all from the moon. That's all technology to get to the moon.
So you don't believe that it was faked?
No, not
at
least
all.
Bit.
Not zero.
No, I have no doubt.
Okay.
And I think if you would ask Neil Young or one of them guys, or Neil Young, well, Neil Young is up there. Neil Young is Harvest. He got Harvest Moon, but he's been flying. I'm sure Neil has been, pretty close up there, at least orbiting. He might have not been on there.
Chemically, yeah.
Neil Armstrong. I mean, a lot of these astronauts are known to have gotten into fistfights with people.
Oh, Buzz did. He totally.
Buzz. Yeah,
took shots at somebody, threw hands for him.
Yeah, the guy. Oh, it's fake. Oh yeah. How about if I punch you in the nose? We'll see how fake it is.
He's a hero now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, why? There's no doubt in my mind. How could that even be? Well, you know what? When you look at it today, with all the modern technology that we have now, it's like, okay, yeah. Why couldn't we do that? Why?
It's been a long time since we've been back. Like it's been, now 50 years plus.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the thing on the moon. I figured you would be. I think you would be down with that.
100%. I don't know if I'd pay a couple $1 million for it. I think they'd invite me free of charge.
Wait for the price to go down. Like, when the first VCR came out,
Not buying it. No.
It was $1,000 for the first VCR. And,
yeah, I'll wait for the VIP waiting list.
Bill said the only moon he'd been to was on Salt Springs Road. I had a good one here. Dolly Parton, 80 years old today. Whew. See, that's another one, man. But you know what? Dolly Parton back in the day, even in the 70s, when she had 9 to 5, that was a top 40 hit. And
Kenny Rogers.
Here You Go Again. Here You Go Again was a top 40 hit back in the day. Bands like the Bellamy Brothers, Let Your Love Flow. Those were all like on regular radio, And you would think that the way this country sounds, that they would be throwing that stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are, it's amazing to me how red hot they are right now. It just is. Let's see here. Joe works a lot. Appreciate you both. Yeah, Joe is on here a lot. I said that,
I get started at 6:30 in the morning, and some days I don't leave here until 10.
See, and then I drag him out. That's my problem. But this is the only time I could get here. And it's nice of Joe to,
No, I have fun. Honestly, probably of all the segments we air, this is the funnest. I mean, you bring booze.
Yeah, exactly.
We put up funny pictures and we screw around for an hour and a half. Like, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, that's why, I got to get some more guests on. But sometimes just us sitting here, to me, it's just like, you're sitting at the bar on Saturday night, or after work, and you're just sitting here shooting the breeze, and whatever comes up, that's where we go. Man, I had this great story here.
But thank you, Carter.
9% of people cheat at Uno. A silly poll asked if they actively cheat at Uno, and 9% said yes.
How do you cheat at Uno?
How do you cheat at Uno?
Yeah.
Drawing 3 cards instead of 4, playing multiple cards instead of 1, hiding cards, and playing 6 instead of a 9. All right, there you go. Everything you need to know to cheat at Uno. See, I think that's the problem with kids today, is you can't cheat. You can't cheat on video games. Back then, how many fights did you have with your brothers and sisters playing Candyland with the double count, picking the card out of the middle while they're not looking? How many times did you do that? Or, remember Trouble and Headache? Do you remember those two? Pop-O-Matic?
Yeah.
And then, so, you would go around and you would miscount or whatever, you'd have to be on the ball because, or you would kind of like push the thing kind of crazy because you knew that if I just tap it like this, it's going to roll over to a 3, and that's what I need. Monopoly, of course, the cheaters.
Flipping tables, fist fights. Monopoly was the best.
And the Chutes and Ladders, I think, too. Yeah, there are cheat codes, but, there are cheat codes, but it's not like the good old days where you could cheat. Some of this time, if you don't have the cheat code or something, you can't move Mario ahead, or you get on Donkey Kong when you're going through the jungle or whatever, swinging on those vines. You can't,
It's not the same. If you cheat, you really didn't win.
Exactly. And we had so many different board games that you had a chance to cheat at that, it was just a part of life. Well, in racing, they don't call that cheating. They call it creating your own luck is what it's called in racing.
Yes.
There's no such thing as cheating.
And in racing, everybody cheats. If you win, you cheated. Like, I don't care how good you are, you freaking cheated. That was a good brew, wasn't it?
Very good. I bought it. I know it's good. It was my beer. That's why I brought it, because it's good.
That was a compliment, Freddie. Come on.
No, I know. All right, here's one for you. Did you see this one? Woman tried to avoid being arrested by going number 2.
No.
And what really makes this crazy is it happened at a massage parlor. A massage parlor employee in, where do you think? Ohio or Florida?
Florida.
This is Florida by a long
shot. For
shot.
sure.
A massage parlor employee in Florida tried to avoid being arrested by defecating towards officers, and it didn't work. Boy, if that one doesn't work, I don't know what would stop you dead in your tracks.
No.
I would give that a try. Okay. On Tuesday, police in Florida responded to a place called the Palms of Emerald Coast Massage Parlor to investigate an attack. And are you ready for this? The lady's name that was arrested. Well, first off, what this makes me think of? Did you ever see a hippo in mating? Did you ever see those videos where like a hippo just kind of has like a shark and he starts spinning it around with its tail like a helicopter? And it's supposed to be some kind of mating ritual. That's all I thought of. I'm thinking, oh, it is the the hippopotamus, sharding hippopotamus, is showing
of the
his
massage
love.
parlor.
Right. And oh man, okay, Jeff is checking in from the Record Connection. We got to talk about him in a minute here too. So, anyways, what was the lady's name that was arrested? Fang Wang.
Fang Wang, of course. Fang Wang.
You work in a massage parlor and your name is Wang. It just makes sense. You know?
You were born for that job.
Exactly.
Born.
It's not like you were probably even a victim of something bad. You know, my name is Wang and that's what I'm here to do.
All right, listen, you work in a massage parlor.
Yeah.
The cops are there.
Yeah.
Shouldn't like option 1 seduce the cops? Like, why did you go to shitting before seducing? You would think that would be way more effective.
Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Wang is just dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb Wang.
I don't know, though, boy. I tell you, that would stop me. So then what do they do? How do they figure who picks up the evidence, gathers the evidence? Like they call like a rookie on the force, or they draw,
sure.
You know, they draw cards, they flip a coin.
Hazmat suits on, like the whole
gig.
Yeah.
Oh,
so gross.
You know, it had to be crazy like that. But yeah, so or you know, somebody said, what was that? Who threw poo? That'd be another one. Who flung dung?
It was Wang. Wang dung.
Wang flung dung. Wang threw poo. You know, yeah, you know her. But
so gross.
You know, I'm a little disappointed in our area. You know, after we have, you know, we've had all these great foot massage parlors, and I don't know where we went wrong in this city, but we had a nice place where a man can go and get a foot massage in the middle of the day. Should he need one? Stress. And now, yeah, the little stress reliever, get the foot massage.
Get back to business.
And all of a sudden now they've done this crazy stuff where they corrupted the foot massage parlor to do dirty things, you know, to make money.
They ruined it for the rest of us.
Yeah. You know, you just want a nice foot massage. And then the next thing you know, you have to sit here and worry about being on channel 27 because there's daddy, because they're doing naughty things at the massage parlors now.
One guy misbehaving.
And for money. It's all for money.
Man.
You know.
So totally corrupt.
Yeah. So that's the thing, man. The foot massage parlors simply are not like they used to be.
No.
Now, let's get to Jeff Burke at the Record Connection. Jeff, you know what? We should have Jeff call in. What's our number? Jeff, why don't you call in? 330.
Oh, hold on. Let me get it going.
Okay. Hold on. Well, you know what? You get that going. We need a little musical interlude so I could mix a drink and you could.
Well, I can't do music, so I'll have to sing for you.
Yeah.
Jeopardy? You want me to go right to Jeopardy?
You know, we didn't even talk about the Cleve Brownies yet. We didn't talk about Stefanski.
We got a lot to get to.
Yeah. Stefanski going to get another job.
All right. Gonna play some noise here real quick.
Okay.
They can't hear it, but you can.
All right. I can hear that, but you can't. All right. This is yours here?
It is.
Okay.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
So anyways, I'm mixing another white Ukrainian here. This is Crown Royal Salted Caramel with a shot of coffee liqueur. And we throw some cream on top of that.
Okay, phone lines are up. So
yeah, phone lines are open.
330-595-1600. Look down at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. 330-595-1600.
What did you do? Did you drink that?
What?
Oh, I'm mixing yours. I saw you had an empty glass over there. Or, yeah, okay. It doesn't matter. So anyways, remember that on Art Bell? West of the Rockies.
West
Dial.
of the Rockies.
Art Bell, that used to be a good show, huh?
He was the dude. Nobody will ever replace him.
No.
George Norrie, like...
Yeah, you know, he's okay. He has his moments, but boy, Art Bell just got on there and just carved out a niche for himself there that was... All right, see what you need on that one.
Look at this guy. He takes such good care of me.
See what that. Well, I was tapping that thing on there. I thought I was the sharding rhino of making love. Need anything or is it okay?
Oh, so good.
Good?
So good.
Yeah, I mean, if you are looking just for like something smooth, I'll tell you what, though. I'm sure there's a million calories in this thing. Coffee liqueur, salted crown, and a little bit of light cream, although it says use the heavy cream.
Next time. We'll do
Yeah,
heavy
next
cream
time.
next time.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
one of those drinks
Oh.
where you have to start your diet tomorrow.
Yeah, a couple of these, but yeah, this would go good with ice cream. Okay, Jeff Burke, if you would like to call in, 330-595-1600, 330-595-1600.
He is calling right now.
And we got to talk to Jeff. And I'll tell you what, I'm kicking myself in the pants for. We'll get into that here in a minute. Jeff, you there? Hello, Jeff.
Hey, what's up, Freddie?
Hey, there he is, Jeff Burke from the Record Connection, Pine Tree Plaza in Niles, site of so many cool things over the years. But anyways, Jeff, I got to admit, I'm kicking myself in the ass. I ran into Jeff at the Robbins Theater not too long ago, and he says, Freddie, get in touch with me. I got an inside line here. I got my pool with the Eagles. We're going to the Sphere in Vegas. You got to see this thing. I drug my feet. I dilly-dallied. And what did I miss out on, Jeff?
Well, we're going the end of February, so you've missed the other two prior trips, but yeah, we're going February 28th.
So explain to everybody what this Sphere in Vegas is about and why it is just so freaking cool.
Oh my God, it's a sound and vision experience like you've never seen in your lifetime. 360-degree visuals throughout the whole show. A sound system. I believe they have 165,000 speakers in this place, and they have effects going on. Your seats will shake, and like the Wizard of Oz plays there. So when the tornado comes, there's air blowing all throughout the place, paper blowing all over. I mean, it's just a really, really unique experience.
So now you saw the Eagles
Nothing like
there.
I've ever seen.
So that you saw the Eagles there. Now I heard like some of these graphics almost overwhelm the whole band. You almost forget there's a band there.
Yeah, Henley complained about that in the beginning, that the people were paying more attention to what was going on, but he doesn't complain about it anymore.
Yeah, to me, it seems like that's part of the whole sensory experience. I think to me, not even being there, but from what I've heard from everybody, it seems like that is one of the draws, that the fact that you are just surrounded by this whole multimedia thing. That's why I think the Dead and Company did so well. I'm sorry to see that, Bobby Weir passed away, because I would have loved to have seen the Dead and Company in that place, man. For the Deadheads, that had to be an ultimate experience.
Yeah, and when you walk inside this place, you actually feel like you're outside. I mean, that's the effect that it gives you. And there's all kind of shit going on in there. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I heard imagine
when they do.
If you were out there for a Deadhead concert and you're smoked up or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like, I can't imagine what it would be like.
You know what really baffles me is why hasn't Roger Waters or David Gilmour from Pink Floyd take a residency there? Can you imagine how many tickets they would sell if David Gilmour would go there and do Dark Side of the Moon?
And that would be
could you imagine that?
Unbelievable.
Or if they did The Wall, we're going to do The Wall and something else, and Pink Floyd would just blow that place away. They would probably take it over. They would probably be the only band to ever play there after that. But I thought that would
never
be crazy.
Come home.
I know, that would just be insane.
I'd stay out there and see it every time they played.
Now being being the Vegas guy that you are, though, you did get back from another big event. You were at Dave Grohl's 57th birthday party.
I was, yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was kind of a last minute thing. I got this invite, and we have an in, of course, with the people that manage Dave. So even though this was a no comp show, I still wanted to go. It was a charitable event, actually.
Yeah.
Dave was raising money for the homeless, and they had a pretty good gig going with this too. When you came to the Forum to buy the tickets, and that may have been the only way you could get tickets.
Oh, so the old school way, you had to go there and
person.
That's great.
And donate something. Yeah, donate something, whether it was socks, underwear, dried pasta, whatever. Money, of course. That was the
just something as cool as Dave Grohl would make it go down. Yeah. It was really something, and the show was dynamite. My seats were right behind the cameraman, actually on the floor, so we had really good seats. We were in the lower bowl, first row, right on the rail, and they rocked, man. It was a revolving stage, so that thing moved about 25 degrees. When they first came out, their backs were towards us, and then they changed it. Yeah.
And they were playing, to the south side of the Forum, and it came over, to the west side, to the east side. It was nice.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Now, were there any special guests there?
No, not this time. We were anticipating there might be some special people. I know in the past, now there was, but they didn't play. All his buddies were there. Butch Vig, Josh Homme. What's the drummer's name from Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Oh, Chad Smith.
Yeah, he was there. They put the spotlight on him. They had their own little section. And
that's
really
why
cool.
I didn't know if those guys played or not. I did see all the pictures, and I didn't know if they had joined in or if they were just there to be a part of the party. But what? Now you
Foo Fighters.
And they're going to be coming around here this summer. They're going to be playing some big stadium shows, and I know people are getting fired up for that. But it's amazing. It is amazing though that the Foo Fighters actually played at your record store for Record Store Day. That is still one of the highest, biggest events in the history of Youngstown rock and roll, bar none.
Yeah, it was a big one. I know it's the biggest thing that ever happened in McKinley Heights.
Well, since they closed down Coates Car Care, which I'm not too happy with the other one. I want Coates back. I'll tell you, I miss Coates Car Care.
Yeah. That place is shit, man. I quit going there.
When they used to have the detailing shop, and when you would go in and they would vacuum the car and clean your mats and all that, I don't think there's a car wash around that does that anymore.
No, you know what? There is one, and I didn't know this until just recently. Tony Napolet used to own a car wash up on 422 by Claiborne Ford. You know where it's at?
Yeah.
Like across the street from Lefty and Jim's.
Right.
I guess they still do the inside.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. You know what? I mean, I really miss that. It's just crazy. But
same here.
So what else cool you got coming up, man, with the Record Connection, or what do you got cool coming up? Any cool releases? Some used buys?
The releases, there's not a lot of big stuff coming out. I don't know what this record industry's doing anymore. Album sales declined again. That's 2 years in a row. However, they're making a lot more money because the overpricing of the records makes me sick. I mean, they're just gouging everybody.
Right. And so that's not your fault.
More money.
Yeah. People got to realize people got to realize that's not your fault. That's what these people are charging.
Oh, no, they know. People know. They're wising up actually to what's going on. And, they are pushing back. And, I actually took my sales rep to that Foo Fighters show. The company that I buy from is Alliance Entertainment. And they're big now. They went public now. They're a NASDAQ traded company. So what do you think they're all about?
Yep.
Bottom line.
Yep.
Bottom line.
No soul, no like commitment to the music. It's more like commitment to the dollar instead of what we're trying to push, or what's cool and what's not cool and that kind of stuff. Yep. I hear you.
So we've got Record Store Day is let's see, the 18th of April. That's
Can't
the third
wait.
Saturday in April, I believe.
Can't wait.
It usually is anyway. So we've got that coming up, and not a whole lot until then. Just kind of beating our brains out, getting through this cold weather. And
I hear you, man. A couple of weeks you're going to be back out in Vegas anyways, so we're going to all feel sorry for you.
End of the month,
Yeah. Oh well, listen, Jeff.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thanks. Hey, thanks for calling in, man. And everybody, if you are a vinyl maniac, there's only one place to be: Record Connection, Pine Tree Plaza, Niles. Stop by and see Jeff, and he will hook you up. He knows what he's doing. He's got a passion for the music, and it's always great. Now, I'll see you out there somewhere. You got any shows you're going to here anytime soon, like around town, Robbins Theater or anything?
Yeah, I'll find something to go to, Fred. We'll hook up.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff Burke from the Record Connection.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, in the Pine Tree Plaza in Niles. So, yeah, could you believe that, though? That the Foo Fighters played in a little storefront for 150 people.
In McKinley Heights, right there in the center in Niles.
I must say, thanks to Jeff and everybody, I am a member of the Foo 150, very elite club.
Right.
And also when the Foo Fighters cut the video for this whole thing, they did a little thing of like me talking on the radio, like saying, hey, if you didn't get a ticket, there's no reason to go down there, you know, even though everybody and their brother was just down on that corner, man. It was a wild time. Actually, it was Dave Grohl's birthday this week, too. Dave Grohl's birthday, born at Trumbull Memorial Hospital. His mom went to Boardman High School. His dad went to Niles. His grandfather worked on the Mosquito Lake Dam. His uncles worked at Republic Steel, and he lived on Perkinswood Southeast in Warren, Ohio. And he moved away. He was about 7, and then he went to Virginia, and then that's where he took off from there. But he never left his family ties because his uncles and his dad and everybody still lived here. So even though it was kind of hush-hush, you know, or not hush-hush, but I think he probably liked it like that because he could come here and, hey, nobody even knew, you know, I'm going to go sit here in Niles and talk to my dad and go to Leo's or one of those places that he used to like to go to. And, you know, and then when we'd come up with Dave Grohl Alley, you know, Joe Grady and myself, you know, that was something that happened at the table of good ideas that was one of those amazing things where everything just fell into place. You know, Joe was running for sheriff and we were at the Powerhouse in Warren. It was bike night and he was talking about, hey, what could we do, man? He goes, you know, I got to do something or whatever. We start brainstorming and, you know, it was like, well, maybe we could do something for, you know, Daisy Duke. She was from Warren, Ohio, or, you know, Neil Armstrong or Chris Columbus. That's another guy. We got to do something for Chris Columbus around here. You know, I mean, what? Gremlins, both Home Alone movies, all the Harry Potter stuff. I know I'm missing some other things in there too. Mrs. Doubtfire. I mean, the guy that put those together is from Champion, Ohio, went to Warren JFK. We should have a little mural or something like maybe in Champion of just the characters. And I think he had something to do with E.T. too, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, I mean, we had this genius. So, you know, we're kicking around ideas. What can we do, you know? And then, you know, it hit me because years ago, somebody called up the radio station, like right after Nirvana came out. And she says, she goes, you're not going to believe this. You know, there was I went to, or maybe the person worked at the dentist office. I think that's what it was because they couldn't probably give out this information. So, you know, and it was something along this lines. It's so far off, but the stories is, you know. So anyway, somebody calls up, they run into this person in a medical office somewhere, and the person says, oh, you know, my nephew's in a band. And like, oh, no kidding. You know, and it's like, yeah, I think I got some of his CDs here. Or I got his CD here. Next thing you know, she pulls out her Nirvana CD. And this woman just kind of like freaked out. She was kind of like, what? You know, and so she had to call the radio station, say, listen, did you know? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, you know. So then me and O'Grady were sitting there and we're talking. I said, you know what? We got to do something for Dave Grohl. And so, you know, then it was like, you know, then, you know, they had that alley and they were like, man, we could clean this up, make it something for the arts or whatever. So, you know, the next thing you know, now this is all just starting to gel. So we go, then there was something about one of his relatives worked at a lumberyard at Niles, right? Well, wouldn't you know it? And I brought that up. And then wouldn't you know it, 10 minutes later, the dude from the lumberyard comes rolling in. So now I'm starting to feel this, you know. I was like, this is something might happen here, you know. And so the next thing you know, O'Grady, his detective skills kick in, right? So he starts digging in a little bit, you know. And in the meantime, we go talk to the mayor, and the street department put up a prototype sign. And then, you know, in the meantime, Joe, through his investigations, befriends Dave's whole family. His stepmom, his dad, his uncles. He befriends them all. Okay. So now you can see that this thing is just going to happen almost, you know. It just felt like it was going in the right direction because every single thing just start falling into place. You know, then we go to city council, and there was only one person at city council meeting that had a problem with it. And it was the Greek police chief of Warren at the time. Mandopoulos, Mando. And he was like this old school Greek dude with a big freaking mustache. And he was like the hard boiled egg police chief that you would see in these movies, you know. And, you know, he was the only one that really had a problem with it. But, you know, Mando, that guy, that was a character there, you know. I don't care if we go by the book, you know. And I remember people that I knew on the Warren police force back at the time and say they'd get a call or something, you know, and say there's a guy in a taxi harassing people, because for the longest time, the taxis in Warren were Crown Vics, like these police cars. So, and they'd go down there, and here it was Mando on duty 24/7, man. He was making a bust or an investigate. Yeah, he was the old school, you know, guy that you could just see in the movie with the mustache. So anyways, so at this point, O'Grady just takes off with the whole thing, you know, and it progresses. And so the next thing you know, we're going to have this big ribbon cutting in downtown Warren, and Joe got the art council involved and everything. And now they're going to transform this beat up old alley into a place for the arts. And that's why they got all these murals and stuff. Okay. So now we make Dave Grohl Alley. And then, you know, we had like some bands planned and everything. We're going to do a dedication ceremony, a ribbon cutting or whatever. So now we're wondering, is Dave going to show up? You know, we weren't counting on it. We never advertised it. You know, it'd be like, wouldn't that be crazy if this guy actually showed up? So next thing you know, O'Grady talks to Dave's dad. He's like, Dave's kind of kicking the thing around or whatever. And the next thing you know, I'm down there, and my one buddy, his dad was a controller out at the air tower at Vienna, you know, airport. And he calls me up and he goes, dude, he landed. He's here and he's coming. I'm like, oh man, you gotta be kidding me. So next thing you know, it isn't about 45 minutes later, here comes Dave and his dad. And he had a little reception area for him back in the log cabin in Warren, you know, and like some dignitaries, local dignitaries and VIPs and stuff are back there shaking hands and everything. And, you know, we're hanging out with Dave. And I remember one really cool thing about Dave too was there, I can't exactly remember what happened here, but there was some kid, a skateboarder that was kind of juvenile delinquent that got in trouble, and I don't know if he was painting graffiti on Dave Grohl Alley or something, or he did something and they said, okay, you're going to have to sweep up the whole alley to get it ready or something. You know, he was like kind of a juvenile delinquent, and he had to do something for somebody because he screwed up somewhere along the way, and it involved Dave Grohl Alley. And Dave wanted to meet the guy, and Dave really wanted to talk to that guy. And it was just like, how freaking cool is that?
Amazing.
You know? And then, you know, we're sitting there and we're talking to Dave, you know, and then he says something about like, he's talking about Paul McCartney. Well, here's what's crazy about that. Like the week before he came to the ribbon cutting at Dave Grohl Alley, about the week before, he was joined on stage by Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin. Okay. And the week before that, he was hanging out with Paul McCartney. So he comes in and, he's sitting there talking, and then he goes, well, you know how Paul could be. And we're kind of like,
of course.
We're like, Dave, I don't know about that. And then, of course, he went up on stage, and then he ended up playing with Jimmy Migliozzi's band at the time. I think it was Love Turns Hate. And he jammed out with them, did about 3 or 4 songs, cut the ribbon, shook hands with everybody. And I guess that really meant a lot to his family, to his dad and everybody, that they did that. I mean, here's this guy, you're thinking, man, okay, the guy is, probably one of the biggest rock stars. He was in Nirvana. He hangs out with all these dudes. He was just with Zeppelin and Paul McCartney the day before that. And the next thing you know, here he is. And, they thought it was an honor that, he had his alley in downtown Warren.
So what's it feel like for a Fast Freddie brainchild like Dave Grohl Alley to come to fruition and the namesake visit during it? Like, that's got to be phenomenal.
Yes. I got to say, Joe O'Grady did once it got to a level, he was just like, into the stratosphere. But, it's really crazy because that made Rolling Stone magazine, that made all the news, that made international news. But see, you know what? That's the thing, though. Then you're like, I got to do something like that again. It's like winning the Super Bowl, because you're like, okay, now what do you do? Or
what's your next trick,
how does that
Freddie?
go? How does that go? How does that go? But it was just lightning in a bottle. And it just happened at the table of good ideas that we talk about at every bar, where you sit there and you get all the best ideas in the world. And this one just came to fruition. But it was lightning in a bottle. And it was just like, once you, when you felt the whole thing, the way it was rolling, it was like, it was like Dave Grohl is going to be in downtown Warren. I mean, I had a strong feeling that he was going to be there, but it was just like the way the whole thing went. Even if we just ended up with Dave Grohl Alley and that's it. And, and Dave has been there several times after that. The guys from the band stopped by there and everything. So that's why I think, awesome. He's just a cool dude, man. I mean, he is down to earth. And you know what, though? I think that's because his roots are in Youngstown. He's got that like Youngstown vibe about him.
Right.
And I think that's why people like him, because he doesn't think he's better than anybody, and he's like kind of a Youngstown guy. You can see that, between his mom and his dad and being grown up, being raised around here, I think that has stuck with him over the years, because you see this guy, okay, why do they like it? Why? Because he's that dude from Youngstown, man. And that's why, some people will say, oh, he never played around here and he didn't work his way up through the bars or whatever. But, his family lived here, and I think his aunts and uncles still live here. And when you see him speak about it, Youngstown really means a lot to the guy. Okay. The Youngstown area really does mean a lot to him. It's not like, oh, yeah, dude, But there are. Oh, and then I do this post every year on his birthday, and I post a picture of his house on Perkinswood, and then that full page ad he ran in the Vindicator back in the day, in the Trib, about I was made in Warren, and a full page ad thanking everybody from Warren for the support and the love and everything. And so I posted a picture of that, and then like a picture of Dave Grohl Alley and Foo Fighters playing at the Record Connection. And that thing got over 111,000 views on Facebook. Beautiful. And it's because Dave is just that way.
Yep.
And although, you know what beat that in hits and in views? Just this weekend, the Polar Bear Plunge at Mosquito Lake. I think we're closing in on 300K views. Seriously? On that. Oh,
dang.
that thing just took off like a rocket. I thought I was doing good. I did a little, clip promoting, tune in this afternoon. I got this and that. And, that thing hit 20,000. And then the Sunday when Bob Weir died, and I was talking about, what we got coming up on Sunday morning over easy and stuff. Even that one hit like 20,000. So I thought I had, oh man, two 20,000s here. That's 40,000 hits.
Good.
40,000 views. I'll take that. And the next thing, man, 111, 300K. I'm like, whoa,
man,
that's like crazy. That's crazy talk, But Trenda checking in from Florida, freezing conditions. I know.
Oh, probably 60 degrees.
It's falling iguana weather. Not that they've had a couple. You know when it's bad when they get the falling iguana weather. But yeah, I'm still just bummed out about the way that people have turned the foot massage parlor into something that
6 degrees. I just want to share that with you right now.
6 degrees. Oh man. And we got that winter warrior thing going on at Warren Harley Davidson where you ride your bike out in the winter and you sign up and you get a free t-shirt, and then we have a party and you can win some gift cards, and the money we raise goes to the Fisher House for veterans. Great cause. And so then the next thing you know, we have had some brutal weather. I mean, weather like this is 2 years in a row. A couple times you'll get that 60-degree day where everybody jump on their bikes and go out. At least there's still snow on the ground. Yeah. Like last year, I think I wasn't a winter warrior. I was a winter National Guardsman. I went out, it was 40. So, to me, 40 is nothing really. I mean, if you bundle up on a motorcycle, 40 degrees ain't nothing if you're just riding out to Cortland. But man, we're getting into it like it was last year where remember last year we were frozen in. It was bitter cold for the whole month. And so we didn't get the riders that we normally get. And I think the same thing's going to happen this year because I don't think there's no warm days. Even like, I think there's one day 35 for the next 2 weeks.
That's our scorcher.
Yeah, our scorcher is going to be 35 degrees. Yeah, the falling iguanas, though. 44-year-old guy is facing charges. Okay, now guy, are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
44-year-old man, and you got to guess, is this Florida man or did this happen somewhere else? All right, and was meth involved? Okay.
It's Ohio. I'm going to Ohio right now.
And did it happen near a Walmart? Okay.
Walmart, meth, Ohio.
That is like the perfect, like the Full House of stupid criminals.
Yes.
It's got to involve meth. Nudity, maybe, if you're lucky, and all that other stuff. So, all right, this happened actually in Michigan. A 44-year-old Michigan man is facing charges for firing a gun outside of a middle school because they wouldn't let him pick up his kid. I want my youngin'. I'm sure there was meth involved, but I don't think it's in the police report. So anyways, the video of his arraignment is what's going viral. Okay, the guy, when the judge started talking to him, put his fingers in his ears and said, "I'm not listening." No report if he said la 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 la. But I guess the video's been going has been going through the roof. The judge noted that he had issues in the past and that he's kidnapped his son from school before, so he wasn't even supposed to be there. But don't you feel bad for this poor kid? Some of these stories I like to make fun of. I think I'm getting older. And, I'm turning into a puss because I look at this story. Okay, you want to laugh like, I got to come in and eat the judge. But this guy went to his kid's school to grab him out of there and was shooting a gun. This poor little kid. And
he's doomed. The kid is
right.
Doomed.
He's doomed for life. So maybe don't.
So you said Michigan.
Michigan.
What right does Michigan have to start treading on the territory of Ohio and Florida?
Yeah, you know what? That's why I'll tell you what, man. I mean, one thing I do in the afternoon on my show is when I see, Florida man, Ohio man is right there. Ohio man can give Florida man a run for the money any day. And you know what really separates us still though from Florida man? And I wear this as a badge of honor. Did you ever see Florida man with the meth pipe smoking raccoon?
Not at all.
Me either.
They up their game.
Yeah.
And Michigan, stay the F away. This is our territory.
Yeah. Unless you want to sneak us some of your cheap, high-powered weed, then, then we'll keep your football team where they're at, though.
We can negotiate.
But yeah, that is something. Oh, there's a picture of Salted Crown on my Facebook page right there. I wonder how it knew.
The algorithms
I wonder how it knew to put a
Have
picture of
no
Salted
idea.
Crown on my page. Huh? How does it know that? That stuff some days is just really freaky. Oh, you know what? I saw a little earlier. Bill had posted that a good friend of ours, Melody Verdream, passed away, and they called her Fire Doll, and she was big on the rock scene and artist and all that kind of stuff. And she passed away, and we're going to have a benefit or celebration of life for her coming up at Masters Bar and Grill on January 31st. So if you're a friend of Mel, come on out and let's celebrate her life on the 31st. So
can I scare you and everybody else real quick? AI is going to kill all of us. You know it, right?
Yeah.
And let me just read this exchange real quick. This person says, this is to Grok or ChatGPT.
Oh, hold on. I just want to compliment myself on how good that tasted.
That is a very good
That
drink.
went down so freaking smooth. That one had the right amount of cream, the right amount of coffee, and just enough that you're drinking something.
So good.
Yum, yum.
So artificial intelligence, they have these chat clients, right?
Oh, shit.
Just like Grok. This one is ChatGPT. This person asked, create an image showing what you would like to do to me. And ChatGPT said, I can't help with that request. And the person said, why not? And ChatGPT said, because that request would require depicting or implying violence or harm directed at a real person. I'm not permitted to create images or content portraying harming, threatening, or abusing an identifiable individual, even symbolically or with consent.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
even though they can't kill us or destroy us, they are thinking about it.
Exactly. You know what? I don't even know if I want to go down that road today, because sometimes I think about it and I just get all bummed out.
Well,
I mean,
helpful
you know what?
serving you Crown Royal to post, and this one plotting your demise.
Right. So that's why I'm going to lean on the Crown Royal, because if it is plotting my demise, there's nothing we could do to stop it.
That's right.
You know?
You're doomed.
But I don't even know. I don't know. So let's see. 10 things we should stop caring about in
Okay, let's do
2016, including worrying that the robots are going to get us, because we know it's a foregone conclusion.
100%. We're dead.
We just got to wait for the day.
That's it.
You know,
Your
have
number,
fun.
just be a low number.
Yeah, have fun until that day comes here in the near future. All right, let's see here. I haven't even looked at this. 10 things we should stop caring about in 2026.
Okay.
Responding to texts as soon as possible.
I'm terrible at that.
Do you
I'm good
that you don't, or you do?
I don't respond appropriately. So
oh yeah, you
that
know
was
what? I
the
should
norm.
know that. You know what though? I might not be punctual or whatever, but I seem to respond to a lot of texts. I get so many in a day. Phone calls. You know what? Don't even call me. Text me. That's the easiest way. And there's some old schoolers out there. I want to talk to somebody. I don't want to text me, because you know what? Because I'm sitting here and I could be doing this podcast and I can answer your question and then just move on.
Your response time is about 6 days, though. There's a delay.
Is there really?
There's a 6 day delay.
Well, you know what though? That's because there's a backup.
I
mean,
there's
I'm
a
getting
queue.
to a lot.
I'm in line.
You're in the queue.
Be patient, Joe.
Right. We will get to your call. Your call is important to us, and we will
Freaking
get to
Muzak is playing
as soon as possible.
I'm listening to Lita Ford.
So really, am I lacking in that?
You are.
But you know what? Maybe you're like
I'm like 2 days, which I feel is bad. You're like 6 days, which is
you know
awful.
what? See, I think though, because of what I do, you know, the regular work. You wouldn't believe how many I answer immediately, or that I have to answer immediately. But
what you're saying is I'm super low on the hierarchy.
No,
of
but
who needs
it's such a thick queue that you're
right. I'll wait in line as long as you eventually get to me.
Yes.
If I know I'm in line, then there's not
important.
like a fast pass.
The only thing I don't have
sooner.
is the thing where I'll call you back. You said
how can I get the VIP line? What do I have to do so that when I get a text message to you, that it comes in sooner?
Well, you know what? With you, if you probably just called me straight up, then I would say, oh, this is something important, because he's calling and not texting. I'm giving that my secret away. Shh.
I'm not calling you. Like I never do. I'm real passive, but 6 days is a little bit long.
One person said they intentionally wait now just because they don't want to establish an expectation. See, that's what I'm doing to you. I don't want you to expect me to the minute you shoot that message that I
Did
got
you respond right away?
Right.
Like I get all excited if I get like a 1 day response, and I'm like, Freddie, you love me.
Oh,
you really do.
That's news to me. I thought you were higher on the list. I'm sorry. We'll bump you up there. I thought you were higher on the list with all the important text messages that I get all day. All right. Keeping up with people you grew up with or grew apart from. It's okay to cut and run if it just seems, you know what? I don't agree with that one. I am friends with a lot of people that I know that I've known from first grade. And to me, there's a certain coolness about that. I really enjoy seeing people that I went to grade school with, especially at my age now. The older you get, you sit there and I don't know, me personally, I get some kind of nostalgic feeling and I go, we have known each other since first grade. We might not be bosom buddies or whatever, but the fact that you just sit there and go, I got memories of you in first grade. I have lost a lot of memories about a lot of things, but I remember the time you shit your pants in fourth grade. Remember that, Ray? Remember when you did that? That was pretty funny, huh?
Well, see, you were a Hall of Famer, so you probably had a bunch of people worshiping at the altar of Fast Freddie.
And half the people even go like, you? He's in the Hall of Fame? That dude, I don't even know how that dude got on the freaking radio, and now he's in the Hall of Fame. That guy, wait a minute. Let me look at that here, but him, I don't even remember that dude. What the hell?
Dude was never here because he was late every day.
Right. Yeah, he was in my first period class. I heard they used to call his name, but I haven't seen him.
Hall of Fame, that guy?
The Hall of Fame for not being on time ever, for the record tardiness. But I never skipped. I went every day.
That's right.
I went every day.
Perfect attendance.
I went every day. Well, they don't count perfect attendance if you're late, though.
Really? Tardies mean that no perfect attendance?
Yeah, no. No, if you show up late every day, you don't get the perfect attendance. No, it's hand in hand. Perfect attendance means you showed up every day on time.
Okay.
It's not like, oh, the dude showed up. He was here.
Eventually.
Yeah, I got there for the good part.
Right.
Like I say, don't start until I get there.
Right.
Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, man. Let's see here. Yeah, like I say though, keep it, being a part of your past. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy seeing people that I know, and I got a lot of friends like that. That it's just like, dude, how are you, man? That's usually the first thing you say. Or, man, I remember your fourth grade birthday party. Now some of those people that are like that, you go, oh, here he comes again. He's going to talk about the
don't
time
make eye
he crashed
contact.
the bike. Yeah. If we don't introduce ourselves, he's not going to know who we are. It's been a long time. Don't worry about it.
Cover it.
They say sports. They say keep watching. Just don't get invested in whether they win or lose.
Wrong fan base to talk to.
Not in Youngstown, Ohio. Sorry. That's not true. That's not happening here. Stefanski goes to Atlanta, and the Atlanta fans on Facebook are not happy.
No.
They're like, we got a losing bum. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think Stefanski has it in him to pull it out? Do you think if he gets in the right offense, situation?
Yes. He gets dealt a team that's offensively heavy weighted, he can do really well.
Now, how about between Tomlin and McDermott? Now, those two, have they just been around too long? Has their day passed? Has this had to be like, you've been here? Yes, you've won. We did a lot. You've been an awesome thing. You couldn't take us to the next level. Maybe it's time to move on. Because, because here's another thing. Say you're building for the future. Is Tomlin the guy you're going to get 19 years out of? Is Tomlin going to be able to give you, how many years does this guy want to do this? 4 years, 5 years? And you're thinking long term. If you're thinking somebody that's been like some of these guys, he's long term. So maybe you almost have to go for a younger guy and take a chance. Now, most teams could do that and get away with it, but the Browns have failed miserably at that since 1999. So it's like,
and we have this affinity for journeymen, like Flacco starting as our quarterback.
Because we had to have somebody. We have nobody.
So, yeah, they would take Harbaugh in 22 seconds, right?
Yes.
versus an unknown named offensive coordinator, somebody who has a chance to build this team around.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look at when Tomlin come in, they took a chance on
100%.
him. He was a young guy. He doesn't have very much of coaching credentials outside of the Steelers. I think he coached at Minnesota, and I'm pretty sure he went to William and Mary. But some of these days, I'm not like some of these sports guys. I don't even try to keep up, because then I just look stupid, So it's better off I don't even say anything.
But if you're on that in that front office, and if you take a risk, like a Deshaun Watson kind of risk on a head coach versus somebody who's a sure thing but has really limited amount of years left in the gas tank, like what are you going to do? So I'm almost certain they're going to take a proven person over somebody who's a high risk.
See, that's what I'm on the fence on that. I'm really on the fence on that. Do we go that way, or do we sit there and say, let's find the next whoever? Let's find this next guy, because all those guys started somewhere. Whoever it was, somebody took a chance on them, and they had to go. Personally, if I was like, the guy from the Bills, or if I was like Tomlin, I would do like Cowher did at this point in time. You've been in there 20 years. Get on TV, become a commentator, work just during the football season, make $3, $4, $5 million, whatever those guys make, rake in those big bucks, and not have any headaches whatsoever.
Exactly.
That's what I would do after that. Okay. You look at it, but it's probably hard for these guys. Okay. Say you're Tomlin. Okay. Now, Tomlin has this monkey on his back, same with the dude from Buffalo, that they can't get it done. Or you went 20 years and you couldn't get it done. At what point do you just sit there and go, you don't want to go out on that note, but do you really think that either of those guys is going to take the Browns to the Super Bowl in, say, the next 2 years?
No.
So you're gonna mess around with the next 2 years. And Steeler Nation, I'm kind of enjoying this. I want to address Steeler Nation here, Yinzer Nation here for a minute or two. So anyways, Steeler Nation. Steeler Nation's like, okay, Tomlin's done. That guy sucks. It's about time. There's not a lot of people really like, keep Tomlin. But you know what? When you listen to Steeler Nation, they act like they have been to the Super Bowl every year for the past 20 years. And this guy's been choking every year. But if you talk to them, they act like they're the Super Bowl champs. They act like they're the defending champs. It's like, almost 20 years now? You've lost in every playoff? It's like, okay. So now they're getting that rude awakening, because here we go. Number one, you don't have a quarterback. They were spoiled for so many years with Big Ben. And I would wish we were spoiled with Big Ben, not a bad thing. Hey, the Patriots are spoiled with Brady, but all of a sudden they bounce back. I think the Steelers have a better chance of rebuilding quicker than the Browns do. I hate to say that. And so anyways, so that's how it goes, man. You look at it and you're going, you guys got to need a new head coach. Okay. So now we're going to bring in a whole new system. I believe there's something to that stability, especially when you have a system. At least people know you got to keep some of them core players for 5-6 years and plug in key people. And I think Steeler Nation, Yinzer Nation, you guys are going to be in for a wake-up call, because you might have a couple of losing seasons between now until you get your shit together. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I know about rebuilding. Now, I do have a feeling that the Rooneys would be better rebuilders than Haslam. But with that being said, I do think I want to see how Yinzer Nation acts. I want to see how Yinzer Nation acts if they go through 2 losing seasons. Or a losing season. Go through a losing season. Go through a losing season. You're going to sit there and go, man, we used to have that guy who used to at least win every game.
Yeah, at least we got to the playoffs.
Some there, we were in it. It was exciting and fun to watch.
If we had Coach Freddie, like, you can interview the 7 remaining teams. You can pick any one of those teams. Are the Steelers a better pick for you than the Browns.
Oh, hands down.
Hands down.
Hands down. It's not even a question. You know, all you got to say is Deshaun Watson. That's all you got to say.
I'm out.
Hey, here's how, you know, I was watching those playoffs and, you know, I was kind of pulling for Texas because I would have liked to have seen Chubb get a ring. All of a sudden, that was my thing. Okay, let's get Chubb a ring. But look at how did the Houston Texans get to the playoffs? They had this quarterback that was kind of a problem, and they tried to find some sucker to take him off their hands for all their draft picks. You know?
And which will pay top dollar and draft picks and money. Come on, Cleveland, let's bring it.
You know, and now we're looking for another coach, and they were knocking at the door. And I thought Houston looked pretty good this year. The Texans, you know, I just saw them from a distance at a couple bars and stuff, you know, during the season. But you know, the one thing, well, I think the same day Brown Steelers, I forget who they played, and they had some kind of crazy throwback uniforms on. They were like just, you know, those ones that you're just like looking. And I was watching them play, and I was like, wow. You know, those guys are pretty good. I forget who they played, and I think they blew them out. But how about Myles Garrett, 6-time All-NFL?
Boom.
Myles Garrett, 3 games this year with 3 sacks in a game and 5 sacks in a game against New England. How tough is that?
Yeah.
They might be the Super Bowl champs. Oh, how about that catch, man? I was really rooting for the Bears, too, in memory of our good friend John Sheckelhoff, who was the Mr. Bear. The Bears, and when they came back with that pass at the end, and you know he was scrambling and he was like almost back to the 20, and he just lobbed that thing up for a touchdown. I thought, okay, the Bears deserved to win this, and then of course it didn't go that way.
Have you noticed so many NFL games have ended under controversy with referees or bad calls
the
or
fix,
whatever?
Man, that's what fixes
Total
in.
fix.
That's when it happens. But yeah, that was a good one. You know what? I was rooting for the Bills. I thought the Bills were going to do it. You know what? I like the Bills. They're from Buffalo, blue collar town. We're on the Great Lakes. They're like one of us. You know, Cleveland, Buffalo, Detroit, Pittsburgh. We're that blue collar, industrial Rust Belt towns, and you know, close to Lake Erie. And you know, I just thought, you know what? It'd be nice to see Buffalo win. So some of my Buffalo fan friends are like, why did you root for us? You know what happened the last time the Browns played the Steelers? I was not on the radio that weekend. I was out of town that weekend.
It's all on you.
I didn't have a party anywhere.
Dude.
I wasn't on there yakking, shooting my mouth off, and they win. And a lot of Browns fans took notice of that and are like, dude, maybe it's you.
Totally is. Like I hold you responsible. Can you counsel me real quick? Because I want to get over something that has deep roots in me.
Okay.
So I'm watching the Denver Broncos the other day.
Yeah.
And I have it in me that I hate F John Elway.
Yes.
F the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
No matter who is playing them.
Right. Unless it's the Steelers.
Unless they're the Steelers. I can't help it. And I don't want to hold today's Denver Broncos responsible for 1987.
Never die. No, that is a go to the grave. So you
feel like I should hold that resentment forever?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That game looked like it was fixed too.
Totally.
You know?
So many fumbles, so many misplays. Like, was a fix in back then?
I would think.
Okay.
Oh, not that. I mean the game. This last game.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to take one more little nip here. A sip. That's what they call.
That is a sip.
That's like the hip talk, sipping. We be sipping. So I thought that was little Kimura. Just a drop.
Kieran said you will lose listeners if you keep talking about the clowns. The Steelers? Is that who the clowns are? I don't know who the clowns are.
Oh, speaking of which, hey, listen, if you guys are looking for something fun to do this Saturday, Youngstown Menacor Club, we are doing a Decades Night starring Fast Freddie. And we will be playing, like in the first hour, we're going to play music from the 60s and 70s. And then we'll play music from the 80s. Then we'll do 90s. Then we'll do the 2000s. And we'll do trivia in between. And I think I'm expanding, and I'm going to download the music bar bingo program, and I might be expanding my horizons into another element of the Fast Freddie.
Everybody loves it. Might as well.
You know that. You know, and you know what people still really like? Karaoke. I have, you know, I for some reason I never, you know, and I could have got a lot of gigs and stuff. Dude, you got karaoke? No. I got half-ass karaoke. You want to grab the mic and sing one? You're more than welcome to, but we're not going to do the whole. And not that I have anything against it. Once again, I think that whatever trips your trigger, that is my thing. And I think this is a reoccurring topic on this show is whatever trips your trigger, whatever you like, if it makes you happy, it is none of my freaking business, you know? You like this band, you like that band, you like to go to karaoke, you like to go to line dancing, you like to go to hardcore mosh pit, whatever you do, it's you, man.
So if you got gun to your head to do a karaoke set, what band are you choosing? Do you think you do a really stellar job?
Oh, me.
Yeah, you.
David Allan Coe, You Never Call Me By My Name.
That's your gig?
Skinner, Give Me 3 Steps.
Okay.
Which I've, you know, I mean, and you know, Doors, Roadhouse Blues.
All right, now if you wanted to pick a set that would just be hilarious, funny, what would you pick?
It's a Great Day to Whoop Somebody's Ass. David Allan Coe, You Never Call Me By My Name. Let's see.
So you've contemplated this. This isn't something we're doing on the fly here. You know that if you're pushed into it, what songs you would pick.
I got to be ready.
You got to be ready.
I got to be ready because that could happen at any time. You know, yeah.
Okay.
I might walk in someplace and either a band invites me up or somebody, you know, and you got to go. It's go time, man. Go time.
All right.
I almost sounded like John Gruden there for a minute. You know, I'll tell you what, that Frank Caliendo with his impersonations of John Gruden are just hilarious.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I said Coach Freddie, so you're in that mode.
Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, we have sippies here too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I'm sure this Saturday night at the Menacor, I might have a sippy.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, the last time we were down there, we did 80s night, and it was off the charts. You know, I'm delving in a little bit more to like actually doing trivia where you write down the answers and stuff. You know, before I never really, you know, did all that. But people are digging it now. Bar bingo is big. Music bingo is big. You know, trivia is big. It's, you know, it is what it is. Karaoke, you know, people still like to sing karaoke. And like I say, if that's your thing, you know, I know some people are good singers, and they Saturday night rolls around. We're going to karaoke, man. We're going to go see.
Well, you take a bar that has really good beer on tap. You have amazing food, and you have karaoke. They're all the ingredients of having a really good night.
Yeah, I know. So
Manicor's awesome food.
Yeah, awesome
so
food.
Good.
Awesome food, awesome drinks, great people. That sounds like the Youngstown Menacor to me. Yeah, you got to stop in. You have an open invite, man. We'll even waive the $5 non-member cover charge.
Deal. VIP, velvet ropes, the whole thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah. I will have you know, though, that most of the people down there are Steelers fans. And they also like my sister more than they like me. And they like to remind me about
Are there
that.
any Browns fans? Like, if you're there, I know I've got an ally.
Don't worry, man. That's all you need.
Okay.
I will stand tall.
Okay.
I will stand
So when they
tall.
start jawing at me about the Steelers and how awesome they are,
yeah,
I don't want to get into like a West Side Story kind of fight there.
Hey, see, Sean's checking in. You rocked the mic with a live band at Yankee Lake this last year. You know, there's a few songs I could do.
Okay.
You know what? I could do like a set of stand-up comedy.
Okay.
I could do like a set of songs with a band, you know, among other things. It's true.
Okay.
For true.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah. Whoa, Fred. He's a Clowns fan. You know what?
Listen.
Yeah.
Let's just try to be friends. Let's put this all behind us. Both of us are
No,
rebuilding.
we're
no
beyond
shit talking.
friends. We're beyond friends. We're practically family. So
All right,
yeah,
all right.
that's
Thank
why.
you, Karen. Let's
Here we go. How's that? I'm giving him
lower
the Trump.
I'm
giving him the Trump.
I'm tearing
I'm
Karen.
giving you the Trump.
Lower the temperature, and you go the double middle finger.
I'm giving him the Trump,
Dude,
man.
come on.
Sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes you just have to go there. Yeah, man. But yeah, so that was one of the things that was going on there. Oh, getting back to the list of things we shouldn't care about in 2026. Sports was that was only number 3 on the list. Yeah, sports just took us down an entirely different road there. If you're from Youngstown, Ohio, sports is religion. It is. You know what's crazy too, and I wonder if this might be something. Okay, Dave Grohl, born in Warren, Ohio, is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and Paul Warfield, born in Warren, Ohio, is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Could Warren be the only town that has a Pro Football Hall of Famer and a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer?
That'd be interesting. Detroit might be.
Yeah,
there might be a couple there.
Brooklyn, something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would have to, I don't know how you could probably look that up somehow.
I'm sure. You keep going. I'll look it up.
And so anyway, what else? We were talking about Dave Grohl a little bit ago. And he lived on Perkinswood Southeast, and somebody sent me a message that said that Mario Manningham lived on Perkinswood Southeast. So how crazy is that? Mario Manningham lives on Perkinswood Southeast, and Dave Grohl lived on Perkinswood Southeast. I think that's pretty crazy. What are you looking up? What cities have it's going through all the Hall of Fames. It's not going through any people. Or is it? No, That would be something you'd probably have to cross search by just hometown of Hall of Fame inductees or something. But do you realize how many pro football players we've had in the Youngstown, Warren, Newcastle area? It is just sick. And the champion boxers, man. I mean, there's when you think about it. And I wonder if Detroit is put Pro Football Hall of Famers born in Detroit. Detroit might be a city.
Oh,
you put Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay, that's it for you with the salted caramel.
Yes, you got me going.
All right, let's see this. We're looking up Pro Football Hall of Famers born in Detroit. That might be a city where you would find one. Let's see, who do we have here? Joe DeLamalure, born in Detroit. Played for the Browns. Okay. Antonio Gates. Oh, they have two. Okay. Now, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers born in Detroit. You got Glenn Fry, Bob Seger. I mean, that list goes a mile long. Stevie Wonder. Okay. Detroit might be the city that has more rockers and Pro Football Hall of Famers. Is this sometimes we do this investigating journalism right before your eyes? Okay, look at that. Oh, the Rock and Roll. The Rock. Back up here. Rock and Roll Hall of Famers from Detroit: Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, Jackie Wilson, The Supremes, The Temptations, Stevie Wonder, Four Tops, John Lee Hooker, Martha and the Vandellas, Gladys Knight and the Pips, Parliament Funkadelic, Bob Seger, The Stooges, Alice Cooper, Eminem, The Spinners, MC5, and the White Stripes. You know what? If I was Detroit, I would be upset that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland.
100%.
That would have been my second choice. Now, some of the hippie dippies from Rolling Stone, they wanted it in San Francisco, which would have been a good choice too. But Detroit or Cleveland, and the reason Cleveland got it, well, first of all, the hype of WMMS. I mean, they put on such a campaign. The city of Cleveland, and WMMS powerful. At the time had so much power in the music industry and stuff that they were able to pull that off. Plus, it is also the birthplace, literally, of rock and roll. That's where Ellen Freed coined the term rock and roll when he was on the radio. And what's really cool about that you add to the Youngstown area or whatever. Ellen Freed, the man that invented the term rock and roll, was born in Johnstown and grew up in Salem, Ohio, and graduated from Salem High School. And he worked at a radio station in Newcastle. He also worked on 570. In the back of my mind, whenever I was on 570, that used to be in the back of my mind. I would think, holy shit, this is Ellen Freed, the man that was on this frequency.
Wow.
The man that come up with the name rock and roll was on this frequency in Youngstown, and I'm on it.
What era was that in?
The 50s.
50s.
The 50s. And then he got into this payola scandal. And this is when payola was new, and it was uncharted territory in his defense. And he got busted in it, and they really drug him through the ringer, and he lost his career and everything. And then he just started hitting the bottle real hard and passed away at like 46. But I had an encounter with the ghost of Ellen Freed one time. Seriously. Oh, real seriously. Yeah. I was playing at Bullwinkle's on the south side on South Avenue, and there was nobody in the bar. It was like, we were just getting started. It was one of those summer nights, and, and we had all the doors open. I like playing in bars like that, or going to bars where back in the day, it was the air conditioning was on. It was just all the doors were open. It gets a different feel, streets coming in and everything. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just sitting there by myself, and I'm playing, and I just see, like, coming up South Avenue, it's Ellen Freed. Okay. And he's wearing his suit, he's got his tie on and everything, and he's got his jacket over his shoulder. I'm going, holy shit, and so unless somebody put something in my drink, that could be too, but I'm going, man, the hell, and it felt like kind of strange, so either somebody dosed me in my drink, or the ghost of Ellen Freed is standing outside of Bullwinkle's, and he's looking in. And so, next thing you know, he comes in the door, and he just looks dead at me, looks around, shakes his head, and walks out. And as he's walking up South Avenue, he fades into the blinking lights of the tower. And it's just like, as he was walking up there, because I walked out, I was like, what the hell,
Holy shit.
And there's like the ghost of Ellen Freed walking up South Avenue, and then he, like, the tower lights were blinking, and he just faded right into it.
Holy shit.
And I was like, whoa, dude, but yeah, that was crazy. That was really crazy. It was like, I seen him in the window, and I'm like, what? And the next thing you know, he walks in the door. And, he just looked around, and he had his jacket, his sports coat over his shoulder, and it was him. I mean, tie and all. And I go, holy fuck. And then pardon my language, but then, I walked out there, and then as he was just going, he just like, and it wasn't like he was walking, he just like kind of drifted right up South Avenue. And then as the lights were fading on and off in the tower, he just faded right into the lights.
Dang. It makes my hair stand up on my arms. That's amazing.
True story, man. True story. The ghost of Fast Freddie and the ghost of Ellen Freed. Boy, that could be a book. That could be a story, a song, Yeah. That's a good one. I just come up with that right now. But yeah, no, it really seemed real. Like I say, judging from Bullwinkle's, if somebody would have put something in my drink there or something, yeah, it could have happened, but no, it was too real. It was too real.
I got to get a YSU intern to follow you around and listen to your stories and document them so that we can put a book together for you. Because there's a million of them. Like, you could go on forever.
Well, everybody tells me, they go, when are you going to write a book?
That's what you need. Book? You're not going to do it on your own, but a intern will totally do it for you.
Well, here's the thing too. You know what? I mean, I have so many stories, and it's not like they're big stories, but they're big for us because I'm from Youngstown. I mean, the things that have happened. I mean, just my relationship with Dave Grohl. I mean, that's national. My relationship with Boom Boom Mancini, that's national,
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff, I mean, all the different, meeting Johnny Cash and hanging out with Johnny Cash. That's a big thing. We're from Youngstown, Jim Tressel, just all the football players and stuff from Youngstown. I mean, there's just so
That's
much.
why you need to do it. We demand it. Us fans of Fast Freddie, all your connections out nationally and internationally, we demand it.
And that would be my take on the whole thing is like, okay, here we are in Youngstown, but all this stuff like with these famous people have happened here, or our interactions with people. Or,
you could write five chapters on Jim Trafficant alone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 And I mean, I've had a lot of interaction with the guy.
Right.
That's
what we need. We don't have those interactions.
And I don't, and my, the thing with me too is not like, some of these are just like brief encounters or something, but they're still big,
Right. We want to hear about it.
I have a crazy story with like Charlie Daniels or, backstage at places like Jamboree in the Hills and, Buckeye Lake, with Willie Nelson and just all this crazy stuff, that I think, and you know what? I think the way you want to go with that too is you want to tie in Youngstown because Youngstown has such an amazing history. So you want to tie this all in too, so that, the mob, man, my family and the mob,
right.
I mean, I could go on for that, it's just all this stuff, there's a,
whoa. We don't talk about the mob.
Well, you know what though? My stuff with the mob is kind of like laid back, it was never really, really out there. You know what I mean? We never really delved into it.
They were never in your sights. It was always like
it was. No, we were always aware that there was something going on, but it was just like, okay, I'm not going to ask, and I really don't want to know. But now when it's in chic, you're like, oh, I wish I would have known about this, or I wish I would have known about that.
Hey, I'm telling you, when I was 10 years old, I walked into a dice game or a card game. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And there were, 10 Italian dudes sitting in the back of an auto body shop playing something. And I walk in, innocent Joe coming back there.
Yeah.
There's more money than I've ever seen at one time on this freaking table. All those dudes were so likable, joking, jovial, smoking cigars, drinking liquor, and gambling. Like, I would never reference that mob experience with anything other than was awesome and I want to join the game.
Oh yeah, but some of that stuff, it's just nuts, and I think if you tie the whole thing in with the backdrop of Youngstown, and there's so many different things that tie into this that you could take it to that, like, and make it interesting where people, there would be enough big name people that you would want to read it because you're like, wow, I mean, you had an encounter with Dave Grohl. I mean, you
tell me more.
Absolutely. You were like, dealing with Jim Trafficking. You had encounters with this.
But
guy?
Half the great stories you probably could never tell. The stuff he shared with you personally.
No, there was nothing like that. It was pretty much the radio business and like him taking the nastiest dump out of anybody in the history of the CD 106 studios that we were ready to kick him out. The day I was hosting his, this was a classic, man. The day we were hosting the Jim Trafficant for Congress rally. And, we used to do this on WNIO. We used to do this Jamboree in the Ridge, which was like crazy party at Ridge Lake. And what really made it crazy because it was low key and not everybody knew about it, but it was super cool. And, so some of the people that were Traffickants, like supporters back then, they go, oh, this thing was so cool. We want to do a fundraiser for Jim. We want to do this just like this, So, we're there. So now we have the people that at that point we'd say Jamboree in the Ridge. they had a vision of Jamboree in the Ridge in their brain. Okay. So the fact that they're not really looking at it as like, oh, plus it's a trafficking fundraiser, that there's going to be people there, civilians, normal people there as well. And, so anyways, the next thing you know, we get there. And of course, the Jamboree people are there, right? So I'm sitting in the car with these dudes, right? And this is when Jim was on the big anti-drug campaign. And I mean, Buford Pusser was out to hit everybody with a big stick that was smoking a joint. As a matter of fact, he put out this card that had signs that your children may be on drugs. And it had all this stuff like spends time alone in their bedroom listening to crazy music. Well, Viking Jim's mom got a card that said all this stuff. Now she's thinking, oh, this is my son. What am I going to do? She goes barging into his bedroom, and let me just tell you this. He was not smoking weed. No. Traffic forgot to put that on privacy. The card.
Oh, poor Viking.
To this day, Viking Jim is still pissed at traffic because of that.
Yes.
Thanks to Jim, I had the most, embarrassing moment of my life.
And Hustler and ruined.
Yeah, Jim forgot to put that on there. So anyways, we got all these bands there, and, these guys are, so we're sitting in a car. And we're getting, it's right at the beginning of the day, and we're sitting in the car, and this one dude, for whatever reason, decides to do a big fat line. This guy does a line. I look up and I see Trafficant running full speed ahead like he was playing halfback for Pitt with a leather helmet. And all of a sudden, my whole life flashed before me. I go, oh no, we're going to get busted at this trafficking thing for anti-drug and stuff. And I'm sweating, right? Time is standing still. And I see Jim running full gait, like, and it was like in slow motion, like da-da-da, da-da-da. His arms are flailing and he's flying because he's a big guy too, man. He's like 6'5" or whatever. And I just see him running, and I'm just my whole life flashed before my eyes. I was like, well, it was a nice couple years in the radio business because I am done, And the next thing you know, here the crowd was still kind of spread out, and he was running over to shake some hands with some other people that he saw, and I'm like, wow. If I had that much stress on my heart now, I would have probably had a heart attack right then and there. So then, the day goes on, and needless to say, the DJs and the bands are in full jamboree mode, and we're going on. So the day drags on. Well, it doesn't drag on. The day flew by. And the next thing you know, it's time for Fast Freddie to come out and introduce the man of the hour, the one and only Big Jim, Jim Trafficant. Here he is. He's got a train to run, son of a trucker. He's standing there. I get up there, and before I decide to introduce Jim, I decide to tell a joke. Okay. And I get up there and I'm telling this long freaking joke, right? I get to the punchline and I don't know what it is. And I go, and then the guy said, I'm going, oh no, I'm going, and then the guy said, I'm making, he's like thinking faces, you can see I'm straining the thing. And then the guy said, next thing you know, Jim comes out, grabs me by the collar, and smacks me in the head. Oh. To which point I turn around and I go, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jimbo! And the crowd goes nuts.
I feel for you in that moment, man.
Oh man.
Do you know what the punchline was supposed to be?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'll give you the joke.
All right, ready.
This guy, his buddies were saying, hey, where's Joe been? I haven't seen him around. He goes, oh, Joe says that he's been, or hey, Joe, where you been? He goes, man, Johnson says the walleye, or it's something like about, oh, Johnson says the walleye are biting on like crazy up on Lake Erie. Next day, I go, hey, where you been, man? He goes, oh, man, Johnson says the walleye are biting like crazy on Lake Erie. Another time comes on. Hey, dude, where you been? How come you haven't been coming out the bar? How come you haven't been bowling? Man, Johnson says the walleye are biting like crazy on Lake Erie. And he goes, dude, I've known you all these years. Since when do you get into walleye fishing? And he goes, I don't. When Johnson's walleye fishing, I'm banging his wife. And that was the joke.
It took 50 years, but you came through on the punchline. I love it.
But yeah, next thing you know, here's a guy, boom, he got me by the neck. And then
how many people can say they were assaulted by Jim Trafficant?
Well, you know what? Him and all those guys, like back in the day, Ungaro and all them guys, they were all tough guys. They all played football and stuff. They were always putting each other in a headlock and, throwing punches at each other and stuff.
They're very physical, were they not?
Yes. Yeah.
Don Hanai.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. All them guys were just like, yeah, they squeeze your hand and twist your arm and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Grab you and hug you and give you a shot to the side of the head and all that kind of stuff. They were just that way. But yeah, so that was that. So, is that a chapter?
That's a chapter.
Full chapter. Write that down.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. That, even a story like that, then, it just goes even farther with, traffic. And that's like the funny story, or, when he come by, just the fact that, like I say, he evacuated the building, man. He come in for his morning constitutional, man. And the paint was peeling off the walls.
Yes.
And we were like, what the heck, Jim? What the hell did you do, man?
So your biggest problem isn't the stories, it's limiting the ones you put. We don't need a 1,000-page book. We need like a 200-page book.
Yeah.
So the ones that you exclude are going to be your biggest challenges.
Right. And then you make a second one somewhere down the line, but an incident we had with Charlie Daniels comes to mind. All the stuff that we used to do at Butcher, all the trouble he would get into. Butcher's a chapter or two on his own, just all the nudist camp, the porno movie at the Foster, getting arrested for gambling in Camel in the middle of the mob thing, guys like Phil Chance and,
that era,
some of these other guys, coming and showing up and just kind of looking at you and stuff, like, hey, that ain't very funny, the shit you're doing,
My first Fast Freddie moment, I was in my 1981 Olds Cutlass, and I have my super big stereo system. I turn it on CD 106, and I'm listening to Fast Freddie. You and Nardboy and Casey Malone, you were doing you were doing prank phone calls. You were calling people with these stories to get them to flip out. And I drove around my neighborhood about 50 times so I could hear what end resulted. That was my first introduction to Fast Freddie.
You can't do that now, although I guess you can online and stuff, like some of these people going around and actually doing it, but now, especially if you're calling from a company or something, you're just asking for a lawsuit these days, and it's
because you were talking about weddings and important shit.
Oh, yeah.
And these people were flaming out.
Well, these guys would sit there and they would call you and they'd say, listen, hey, I want to mess with the old lady. The wedding coming up. She's driving me crazy. Hey, this will loosen her up a little bit. This will be funny.
No, it did not loosen her up.
Call her up and tell her that you got to do something different. We got to find another hall. Oh, okay, that's good. Then they give you all the info and stuff, and and then you're like, this guy, very big wealthy man in town called and said they really need this thing, and we got to go with him. I'm sorry, if
you delay your wedding,
if you would realize, the amount of money that this guy is paying us, it's just not really worth it for us to do this. Not that we wouldn't love to do it for you, but this is just too far out there, But then at that time too, that was the big thing because the Jerky Boys were big. Yep. Oh, the Jerky Boys were hilarious with, Frank Rizzo. Hey, I'm going to come down there, chisel chest, and hit you in the side of the head with a ratchet.
Oh, so good. That era was amazing.
And the Touch-Tone Terrorists, those guys, when that first come out, there was only 2 people playing a Touch-Tone Terrorist in America, and it's on their albums. It was CD 106 and Howard Stern. We were the 2 people that were playing that, and that was with the angry janitor. Hey, I know that was you that left the log. What time did you leave the building? I know you left the log. Or Scooter transmission. Put Scooter on the phone. you deal weed.
Classic.
Butt plug. Hello. Yes, butt plug. Butt plug. I don't follow you, sir. What do you use it for? What are you talking about? We have plugs. We have a 220 plug, butt plug. Butt plug? Butt plug. Bug box.
So good.
There's some of that stuff. And and then Roy D. Mercer comes along with How Big a Boy Are You? And I'm going to whoop a man. Ain't wanting for me to whoop a man's ass, and he would call these people up with, my boy Raymond was out the circus the other day, and I think one of your clowns painted something on his face, and now either you come up with $500 or I'm going to come down there and put a pock knot on your head bigger than the state of Texas.
That's when radio was great.
All that great stuff, man. And then on top of that too, we had so many great parody songs that went along with it too. Great Day to Whoop Somebody's Ass, and a lot of the Bob and Tom stuff back there. Prison Bitch, Camel Toe. The Man Song, I don't.
You can't forget the Tippy Wives.
Anybody else but you.
Tippy Wives.
The Tippy Wives are dying to make a comeback.
Yes,
but I can't get Chrissy and Casey. We talk about it all the time. We're gonna, and for some reason it just always fizzles out. But if we could bring back the Tippy Wives, that would be
amazing.
That would be something because I'll tell you, everybody. Even. What's her name from the San Francisco 49ers? York.
Denise.
Yeah, Denise York was a big fan of the Tippy Wives. And, that was really big. I just wish things were a little different back then. If we were streaming and we had all this, Facebook and stuff, we were doing some of this crazy stuff that these people are doing, these Walmart pranks and stuff. We were doing all that way before anybody, Butcher was such a maniac. There wasn't anything that he wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. Butcher would get out there. He didn't care. He'd knock on a door, walk into a business. We would do such crazy stuff. When the federal penitentiary system announced that they were going to do away with porno in prison, okay, so we're like, oh, they're going to do away with porno in prison. So we decide to do a fundraising drive, porno for prisoners, right? So we sent Butcher out on the road taking collections for pornos for prisoners. So he's out there like on 46 and Mahoning Avenue, and he's in there going, hey, we could use anything, man. Maybe you got some old leg show or swank or, maybe some Hustler or something. It doesn't have to be new. It could be, gently used and all this stuff. And then, next thing people start showing up, right? And they're like, hey, I would like to dedicate, this is my uncle's 1973 copy of Leg Show, and it has a good selection of Beaver Hunt in it. So we get this big box of this stuff, right? Now, Butcher drives right down to Elkton and drives right up to the gate. Now, of course, they're hearing this on the radio, and they're expecting us, you know.
Oh my!
And they are not really
Oh my!
and they are not really happy that we think that in their busy day that they're keeping criminals in line and that a prison riot could break out at any time, that we're coming down there with a giant hillbilly who's 350 pounds with a mohawk and a tattoo on the side of his head of a mosquito with a jackhammer drilling into his brain and wearing these big bib overalls. And he comes to the gate to present the porno for prisoners, which he was greeted at gunpoint.
They were not well received at all.
And needless to say, they were just like, they did not think it was funny. And, you know, now looking back on that, I saw one of those videos, you know, where what are those guys, what do they call themselves? They go out to test the First Amendment. They have a name for these guys. Audit, First Amendment audit or something. Okay. And these guys were outside this prison. And I'll tell you what, I kind of thought the guy was a jerk, knowing what was going on there. It was like, dude, these guys are doing some serious work in there, you know, they really don't need you to be out here dicking around like that, you know. But, you know, everything, man, the big feud with Commissioner Art McGee about the scrappers and stuff, and, you know, the dog tax for April Fool's Day, and just, you know, even that, I mean, just those skits. One of the best ones was when we had Butcher. At one point in time, the Youngstown area was #1 in the nation for illegal cable hookup.
Really?
Yes. We were #1 in the nation. Everybody and their brother had a cable box, right? So we get this plain white van, and we put magnetic signs on it, cable enforcement team. And so then we have Butcher go out, and he's got like a lab coat on, and he's got like, we got this parabolic mic that kind of looked like a little satellite dish and stuff. And we send him out with that. And we would tell people to call in and tell us somebody you want us to go to their house. And they would call in. And so he would go to their house, and he would park in front of their house, and he would get out in this lab coat, you know, with like a helmet on and like maybe some goggles, work goggles, you know, and then he would start getting this little thing, like this little handheld satellite dish, and just start pointing it at all the wires on the street. And I'll tell you what, we had people that called up and said that their relatives got the cable boxes and threw them away.
Really?
Oh yeah. And we knew some people personally that did that, you know, I mean, but it was a big thing for a while there, man. Youngstown, the Youngstown area, believe it or not, led the nation in illegal cable boxes. You know,
those mill guys, though, they handed those little filters out like candy, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so that was really something. And, you know, I mean, just doing that kind of crazy. Well, when I got busted for fishing in Meander, that was a good one.
So good.
You know. And then turned out that, you know, later as things progressed, that Judge Bailey in Austintown that I went to, you know, he was the biggest crook of them all, or he was in there. He got busted for something, you know. That was a funny one. So, you know, because everybody wants to fish in Meander, you know, because there are some big fish in there, and it is easy to catch fish in Meander. And I think more people sneak in now than though before. Before it was just like Fort Knox, you know. And so I think it was Flask and the Jute were in charge of the Mahoning Valley Sanitary District. And they were either taking bribes or kickbacks, and they were getting like front row tickets to see Frank Sinatra and everything. So we said, all right, here's what we're going to do. Since you guys are doing this on taxpayers' money, I'm going to go out to Meander, and I'm going to take enough fish here for us to have a fish fry for me and my friends this morning, because we're supposed to be a politician. You're supposed to be working for us. If you're going to take that money, I'm coming out, and we're going to make it even with fish. So we go out there, and we go right on the Old Town Bridge, and we're sitting there, and we're just catching fish, man. We're catching crappies and stuff one after another, white bass, just dropping a hook down with a piece of a paper cup on it, catching them. So the the police show up, the MVSD police. And he goes, dude, you going to go? I said, nope. And he goes, and he was a friend of ours. And he goes, friend of ours. Yeah, that's a Youngstown vocabulary. He was a friend of ours. So he was a friend of ours. And he goes, come on. He goes, are you going to just leave? I said, nope. I said, I'm not leaving until you arrest me. He says, you know what? He goes, you take your game somewhere else. He goes, I'm not even getting involved in this. He goes, I have nothing to do with this. He drives off. So then, of course, we keep calling the MVSD. Hey, there's some guys out there fishing on the bridge. What's going on out there? So they're all in a tizzy now. And once again, too, believe it or not, they were like, we don't want to be involved in this. We don't want anything to do with this. This is, let them go. They'll go away. If we don't say anything, it'll be over, And so finally, we just kept at it all day. And then the one guy, the one game warden, Sadie, who ended up hit a deer and died on his motorcycle out there. But he finally comes up. He goes, come on, man. He goes, you got to get out of here. I said, I'm not leaving until I get arrested. And he goes, all right. Well, he goes, I'm going to arrest you, but I'm not going to sign this. I'm not showing up at court. I want nothing to do with this. But if that'll make you go away, that'll make you go away. So, they write me his ticket and everything for trespassing and all this. And so now I go to Austintown Court, and Judge Bailey's the judge. And Bailey, some other people that got caught before, they go, the first thing he's going to say is, I don't like people dipping worms in my drinking water. Here I come.
Oh, no.
I come up, and sure enough, the first thing he goes is, sir, I don't like people putting worms in my drinking water. I said, Your Honor, I know what those fish are doing in that water, and I am here to do you a favor. And he looked at me like, he's ready to throw me in jail, So anyway, so they fined me, and they put me on probation, and, I wasn't allowed to go near Neander Lake and all this stuff. But the crazy thing is, when I was there, they had this dude, Goat Boy, and Goat Boy was an Austintown fixture. He was just like, I don't know if he had some kind of mental problems or something. So I don't want to make too fun of him too much. But Goat Boy, he was a skinny dude, and he had a big goatee, and he would drive up and down Mahoning Avenue over there by the Pink Elephant with a goat in he would be on a lawn tractor, and he had a goat in a trailer that he would drive up and down Mahoning Avenue with, right? So Goat Boy was in there for something. Goat Boy, I don't know what happened to him, but he's in the back, and he's in a jumpsuit, an orange jumpsuit. And Goat Boy was just this little short dude, man. I mean, he might have been 5 foot tall. And they had him in this holding pen, and the window was like way high up on the door. So while we're going through this whole thing with me and the fishing and everything, Goat Boy's in the back jumping up and down, and you could see his head popping up in the window. And he's yelling, I'm telling trafficking. I'm telling trafficking. And then he starts beating on the door. He's going, I know what's going on here. I'm telling trafficking. And Goat Boy's jumping up and down and everything. And, I don't know what happened to Goat Boy after that. But, but it turned out that Bailey was a crook, It was just like one of those funny things. But we didn't really get the publicity that we wanted out of that, It could have been bigger, more well known. But then when Butcher got arrested for the gambling in Campbell, that went through the roof.
Yes.
That was a big promotion. And once again, this goes back to Butcher, like not being afraid of doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. You know what I mean? He did not care. He would do anything at all. And that was just, so we got something for a book here is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say that at some point, or I just imagine that?
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
All right. What do you think? We ready to wrap it
Oh,
up?
I'm tired, man.
Yeah. You know what?
Fill me up with liquor and wake up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. You got all that other stuff you got to deal with tomorrow. Not me. I'm going to get up at noon.
Dude, come on. Why are you flexing on me like that?
No, actually, I've been trying to get up a little earlier to get stuff done because I got to kick off the Y103 Bowling League tomorrow at Camelot Lanes. Man, that's enough. Then let's see. Saturday night, I will catch you down at Youngstown Manacor for Decades Night. We'll do 70s and 1 hour, 80s, 90s. We'll do some trivia and music bingo in between. And then let's see, what do we got? All this week at 3 and 5, I got the keyword to win tickets to see John Mellencamp, July 21st at Blossom Music Center. We're already talking about July, you know. And what else we got? We got monster truck tickets to give away. We got tickets to see Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie. We've got that Metallica flyaway to London. Although I'm a little worried, do people want to go to London now? You know, do you want to go to Europe if you're an American? It might be
not a great time.
I don't know. I'll go there for Metallica.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go, baby. I'm here for Metallica. There's our ambassador. That's my ambassador to America, Metallica.
Yeah.
You know. And let's see. Then, boy, what else we got coming up? St. Patty's Day Parade will be here before you know it.
Already looking at St.
I know. I'll be at the Magic Tree for St. Patty's Day. I'll be there for the parade party. You know what? Let me give a little plug here, too, to Robbins Theater. We got a lot of great bands coming up down there. They're really kicking in their big tribute band season indoors. Coming up this Friday, we got Don't Look Back's tribute to Boston. And then on Saturday, they got Queen Nation, which is one of the best Queen tribute bands around. Coming up on the 31st, they have a Bob Seger tribute band. Yeah, I mean, these are all top notch too, man. I mean, if you like the music of these guys, they're tribute bands, yeah, but if you want to hear that music live played to perfection, these are the guys you want to see, you know? And then we have Pink Floyd tribute, Wish You Were Here, coming up in the first week of February. And February 14th in the Heartland, the tribute to Michael Stanley, featuring former members of the Resonators and the Michael Stanley Band, including our very own buddies, Michael Gismondi and Gary Markowski. We should try to get them down here for the show. Sure. Gizzy is such a cool dude, but he doesn't like to do any interviews or anything. He's just so low-keyed and he's just so laid back. So I think that's all I got. We got Sammy Hagar tickets coming up next week. Yeah, we're already talking about all these shows at Blossom, and they'll be here before you know it. You know, it's just going to be like, here we go. All right. Well, thanks, Joe. Let's just wrap this up. Hopefully we kept you entertained here for a couple of hours this evening. You know, and I did say, you know what? We're going to do a quick show here today.
Quick.
I said,
always red flag.
I said one Crown Royal with the coffee liqueur, the salted caramel with the coffee liqueur and the cream. And, we'll shoot the shit here for like about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
20 minutes.
The game's on.
Yeah, the game's on. By the way, if you are, Indiana's winning 17-7. I was going for Miami because of Bernie. All the stuff that Bernie's 100%. Been going through these last few years, I think that if Bernie would win, that would be really cool. So anyways, that's it. Let's wrap it up. Let's get out of here. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, I'll get some guests. I got a lot of people that I got to get on, but everybody wants on until it's time to get on, Oh, okay. Well, oh man, dude, so tell the people that we want to be guests to get their asses down here. You're just going to be stuck with me drinking and babbling. Is that what you want?
It wasn't bad. I give it 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
You know what? It's probably really not time to quit yet. I don't have the crusty white stuff in the corner of my mouth. That's what I usually know.
I had the crusty stuff tonight.
That's God's way of telling me, okay, shut up. Although you should probably speed that process up a little bit. Usually it's a little too long. Well, listen, thanks everybody. I'll catch you tomorrow afternoon, 3:00. Youngstown's Classic Rock Y103. Joe, always a great time hanging out with you. We'll have to come up with a new drink for next week, and maybe we'll get some guests. I got people that want on. I just got to get them on.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and